At Verizon, anyone can trade in their old phone for a new one on us with Unlimited Ultimate, which means everyone in your family could get a new phone and stay on your family plan, keeping you close.
Hey, Mom, you seen my toothbrush?
Yeah, I'm almost done with that.
Oh, maybe too close. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio, the first One Nation Radio of 2025. We are now, Rich, officially in the back half of the 2020s. Rich,
wow. How
you feeling? My co-host Richard Latta, how you feeling about now being on the back half of the 2020s?
Man, I feel torn at that. That's like, wow. You know what? Maybe it is just a sign that as we get deeper in the game, some people need to get out the game.
I don't know what you mean on that. I guess we'll be talking about that at some point. It'll come up and I'll figure out what you're talking about. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff. Busy weekend, a weekend so busy that we are now recording right now at 11:15 on a Tuesday because it was too much goddamn wrestling this week and I didn't even get the chance to watch all of it. I still got, after we do this show, I'm gonna get spoiled and I have to go back and watch all of it. This whole week we had we did talk about Dream Queendom. We luckily did a podcast at the buzzer before the new year ended. So we did that. We also talked about World's End, so we got that covered. But there was a Dynamite, there was a Collision, and then I'm pretty sure we will not be talking about Collision outside of some hee ha ha and some funny stuff.
There's something from Collision. I got. Look,
it's in the background, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, my head is sticking out.
Like I think it's all. Yeah, the Moxie thing's the only thing I think we're discussing on Collision. We have Stardom's first pay-per-view of the year to kick us start their year. You have Wrestle Kingdom. You have Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, man, and then you have the first Raw, Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and it's a lot. And like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch much or probably about half of it. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to have some fun. Rich, where would you like to start?
I mean, if it's purely up to me, I want to skip to the semi-main event of Wrestle Dynasty, but I guess like that would probably be like not as efficient. So we'll work our way there. We might as well just start with Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm looking in the chat right now. Someone said James's favorite territory, Marigold. Marigold had a show, didn't see it. Noah's New Year's show that I attended in 2023, that's annual that's in Budokan, didn't see it. Missed a lot of
Amazing.
shit. We'll have to catch up eventually. But if you want to start there, we can start there. If you want to do your your magic of how to make that into a way of covering the show, and by doing it the second to last match and then go from there, that's up to you.
So we'll start with Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay,
like we'll do it, the proper way.
Okay, so what are your general thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom, Rick? Because I have general thoughts as well.
So I like the undercard on Wrestle Kingdom. It didn't really feel like Wrestle Kingdom. It felt like the star power was a little hurt. Can't lie. And that second half is just an all-time disaster, I feel like. And I don't, I think people have been very kind to this show for whatever reason. I thought the main event was abysmal. I thought the semi-main event was also abysmal. And I know people are emotionally attached to that match, so I don't want to offend anybody for that. But when I see Tetsuya Naito in these big spots still, and I'm like, for me, this wasn't something to get fired up and angry about because I'm accepting what reality is at this point. I was like, this is what I expected. Like, this match should have happened 5 years ago or earlier than that. And it would have been, you're muted, James. It would have been. They
tried to have that match like 4 years ago and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah. So like they could have tried that a little sooner. They didn't need to wait this long, and then it gets put there, and it's just, it's just all right. A guy just doesn't have it. That's what I feel. And Hiromu Takahashi has seen better days as well. I love Takeshita and Shingo. I thought that was really good. I didn't think it reached what Takeshita did the next night. This was essentially Takeshita basically inheriting the legacies of Shingo and Ishii, I feel like, over 2 nights. But I thought the main event was really like painful to watch. I'm not a huge Zack Sabre Jr. fan. We talked about all the great matches he's had and stuff like that, but I'm sorry. I see him more as a B-side still. It's like you have to have somebody in there for my opinion, you need to have somebody in there that's super with him. And Shota Umino, who I've long held onto my stock with when people were telling me, hey, you should get rid of this. Things are going bad for this young man. He came in there and laid a nothing. Just a weird layout of trying to do like 2 different things in the match, times where he was just looking like he wasn't trying. There was a time where he got put in a hold. They zoomed the camera on his face and it looked like he was asleep. He had no reaction. They cut away and cut back, and all of a sudden he's like, selling like animatedly, if that's a word. I did not love this. I was baffled every time I heard a time call, and I was like 30, 35. By the time I heard that 40, I was in disbelief, James. I was like, what is happening here? Like, I thought these two took a shit in the middle of the Tokyo Dome. Not to mince words.
I gave it 3.5 stars, but it's a 45-minute match, which means it ain't necessarily good. I will say this, though. It was a better match than the semi-main event between Hiromu and Naito. I mean, we can get to. I mean, do you want to go through the show, or do you just want to go through like?
We can go top down, we got a lot of shit to hit.
All right, so since we talking about the main event of Tokyo Dome or of Wrestle Kingdom, man, not good enough. Straight up, like
it's not enough.
We have shat on Jay White
for way better than this.
Tokyo Dome main events, and in those matches, while I hated them, were still better than this. Hated some of them. That's still better than this, right? Just now talking about you mentioned it. The Shota weird story, right? Bell rings, the crowd wants Sabre to win as the match is going. And I don't know if an audible was called or whatever else, but the story of the match, or part of the story of the match, was that Sabre's putting him twist him up like a pretzel. Then there's a big sell of there's an ankle injury from Umino. Umino was selling like crazy, excellent at points, and then he gets put into similar to like the Jay White Tanahashi taps out deal. I forgot what it's actually called, but the only thing I can think of right now.
One of them goofy names.
Yeah, it's not an inverted Indian deathlock, but it's some wrap up shit like that, right? And he's screaming bloody murder, and he's, evil. Sorry, I said evil. Red Shoes' dad is the ref in this match because they do this, and his dad is, conflicted on what he should do. Should he ring the bell? Should he, call it or whatever else? And then he finally makes Robin is great. And then eventually, Umino gets the advantage in the match, and he starts taking liberties with Sabre, and the crowd starts booing. you know, and then Red Shoes tries to stop his son from going crazy, and he throws Red Shoes away, like, get the hell out of here, like, push him and shoves him. I don't know if he fell. I don't remember if Red Shoes fell or not, but like, it was like, what are you trying to accomplish in this match? Like, you're fighting underneath with this terrible ankle injury, and then you get ahead as this crowd is mostly for Sabre to retain. And then as you come down to the ring, you have all of these makeshift belts that fans gave you, and you're talking about how, like, you want to, you know, these fans made these things for you, so therefore you want to bring a belt to them, right? Like, they give a belt to you. And it's this like classic babyface story, where like it seems like in the middle of the match you're trying to get the crowd, get sympathy on him. Once you get the whole ankles and he's selling fight underneath, and then he gets to that point where he's in control and he acts like a dick, and I'm like, well, then what was all of this for? It was an odd story, and then like it was an odd story compared with a match that went over 45 minutes, and like I remember. I heard the 40-minute call. I was like, wait, what? This is going 40 minutes?
I was so bored. Unbelievably bored.
And normally with me in New Japan, I always vividly hear the 5-minute count. In Stardom, it's a little different. I lose track of, because, you know, sometimes they don't do English. So, like, sometimes I lose track of, like, all right, are we 15 minutes in? Are we 20 minutes in? The way they're wrestling, shit. And this, depending on what the rules of the match, I'd be like, oh shit, I completely lost track of whatever call it is. I know this last 5 minutes the way they're wrestling right now. But in New Japan, I always know the call because it's in Japanese and it's in English. So I was like, wait, it's been 40 minutes? I didn't realize this. And then by the time the end of the match happens, I was like, yeah, man, this could have been 20. 20, if you want to be nicer, 25, but there was no need to go 20. And yeah, like, I thought...
Look, I've seen a great Shota Umino 40-minute match before with Will Ospreay.
Right, but
look, and I know, I've heard people say, they're not going to blame Zach for this and stuff like that, but no, this is on him too. Like, if I had to give out, if there's 10 points of failure to give out, I'm giving 7 of them to Umino. I'm giving 3 of them hoes to Zach.
So what would be the things you didn't like that Zach did? Because all of this is because everything that I didn't like about this match is involving Shota Umino.
Just all the holds, just like.
Well, that's how you wrestle, Rich.
Just sitting down in the middle of the dome, like it's like, bro, you're not gonna lead a match like that.
Except when he wrestles other people aside from Shota Umino, and they're all awesome though.
Yeah. Look, bad matchmaking.
I think this is an XP issue, right? Like another perfect example, right? Last year in the Dome, we had Yamura and Tsuji, and that match did not go the way it was supposed to go, right? And I said, hey man, I think there's some stuff missing with Tsuji. And you looked at me like I have 5 heads, right? And a year later, he's in there with David Finlay, one of the most improved wrestlers in the world. But he's in there with Dave Finlay, and they went out there and killed it. I still notice some of the holes in Tsuji's game, but if you're going to reach back and give me a 4.5-star match, it don't matter how whatever holes you have in your game if you give me a great match or a classic match. So when it comes to Umino, it's like there's always been something missing at times that you can kind of see. Or whatever else you can point out when you watch the match, except for when he's wrestling Will Ospreay. In my history watching him, right? Like, at first I was like, yeah, man, it's Naito sandbagged on the last year, whatever. Nah, man, it's Sabre. And, you know, you tell me, like, how was that Sabre and Ricochet match? I haven't seen it, but how was that Ricochet and Sabre match at Dynasty?
Look, they sure cared a lot more about Ricochet challenging for the belt than they did Shota Umino. And Ricochet made sure that shit was going. He's like, hey, we ain't laying down tonight. They was out there working.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, you look at Umino, and it's like, you know, they push this Musketeer stuff, and it's like, are we sure that we have 3 guys? Are we sure that we have 2 guys? Because I know we got 1. I don't know if we have 2.
Look, the guy that I know they got for sure, he's not Japanese. But yeah, I did not like this match, and it was just like, I you know me, I've never been a Zack Sabre fan, so this is gonna stick with him for me.
Let's do this, right? You never saw that Danielson match at New Beginning last year, did you?
No.
That's their best match. But anyway, like, if you were to go back through the annals of time, let's go back all the way to Wrestle Kingdom 9, and let's chronologically go through it.
Oh, this is the worst one.
I kind of think it is the worst one.
This is the worst.
Right?
I've been watching Wrestle Kingdom for 10 years now.
Real quick. 9 and 10, the Okada and Tanahashi series, right?
Yep.
11's Omega, right?
Yep.
12 is Naito and Okada, right?
Yep.
13 is Omega and Tanahashi, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next year is the Double Dome stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was the year after that? Was the year after that?
It gets fuzzy. I think it's Kota Ibushi and Jay White, and then Tetsuya Naito and Kota Ibushi, I believe. And then
Yep.
2022
right.
should be, I think, Will Ospreay and Okada, and then Okada Shingo, but actually reversed. I think that the first night was Okada and Will, then it was Shingo and Okada, I think.
Don't remember, but
yeah.
Still there. And then 2023 is
Jay White and Okada.
Jay White and Okada.
Look, this is where we start to go off to, like, you know, it's different after this.
All
so
right.
Jay White and Okada.
All right, where's 24?
Tetsuya Naito and Sonata.
All right.
And then this.
So yeah, like we have the two worst Tokyo Dome main events in One Nation Radio viewership of New Japan since 2015. The worst two main events we've seen in Wrestle Kingdoms in the Tokyo Dome have been the last 2 years. And they're beginning in this one.
Thank God Zach had another match the next day. Man. Naito and Tetsuya Hiromu.
Dr. Larry, no, it was not. No.
I think that I don't even know what Hiromu Takahashi is doing anymore. Bro, you know when I see Hiromu, I treat him like Lou Uzi Vert. I'm just like,
he do what he want.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, and then he lost to Naito. So I'm like,
losing, though.
Look, I'm like, they really are never going with you as a heavyweight. You are a junior man.
Wait,
forever.
you thought that he was going to beat Naito and then move up to heavyweight off of that?
No, I didn't think that.
Oh, okay.
But this is what the result told me.
Because if he beats him, that's only that he has to move to heavyweight.
Yeah, I was like, they don't see it, and you know what?
They missed it, man.
They missed it. And then Tetsuya Naito, you know, it's as simple as that. Like, you know, I'll pull the pack out for him, but this is a non-malicious pack. This is
is there a such thing?
Yes. You know, the guy just ain't got it no more, man. And if
a non-malicious pack was a real thing, you would not have a smile on your face right now. Stop it. Cut the shit.
You know, he got the semi-main event position. You know, usually on that position on the card is usually like, hey, last year.
No. I'm gonna give you one that you really want to talk about. You know, normally in a semi-main event position in the Tokyo Dome, you have things like Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. These are the norm. You know, this is the standard. You know, that is seemingly been set here. But
shit.
You know, the New Jahideen, you know, all these people. Look, man, all I heard was for months is people crying like hoes about day 2 and how bad the card was going to be and how it was just going to be this nothing show and all that. And what happened? What happened, James? I know you didn't see all of day 2.
I mean, I saw one match. I kind of already have an idea. Like night 2 is better than night 1,
bro. put it in a pack. Like,
Rich, hold on, let's do this, right? Do this. What were the 3 best matches on Wrestle Kingdom this year?
The 3 best matches on Wrestle Kingdom: Mayu Iwatani and Azumi.
Yeah.
Inosuke Takeshita and Shingo Takagi, and Tsuji and Finley.
Okay, Rich. Takeshi's an AEW wrestler.
Correct. Well, kind of. Like, you know, he just signed a deal with New Japan as well. Like, he's got a triple contract now.
When he walked down the ramp, did it say, was it a lion's head or was it a AEW in a DDT?
AEW in a DDT logo specifically.
All right. Okay, cool. So there's that. Then, so like, yeah, man, like, think about it this way. Like, if not for the partnership, if not for the acquisition of Bushi Road by Stardom, what the fuck would Wrestle Kingdom ever look like?
Bad.
Like, I mean, whatever, man. Whatever. No, look. And obviously, you know, like, it would have been better if Doki didn't fucking break his or dislocate his elbow like he's Ray Phoenix.
Sad. They were on their way to.
They were cooking.
They were about to go crazy.
They were in the middle of cooking, and that shit happened. I was like, and I saw the replay. Once the replay, I was like, oh, the first thing I thought was Ray Phoenix. I was like, fuck. It didn't look as bad, nearly as nasty as Ray Phoenix one was. But I was like,
oh fuck. I was like, match
the second I saw him put that arm, I was like, oh yeah, he done. And then they called it off. I was like, fuck. All right.
Finley and Tsuji. I thought Tsuji nailed his big show presentation for sure.
You like Tsuji Taker?
You know, Tsuji San Diego?
Bruh, that nigga came down
there. Oh, and Dookie's entrance was great too, yeah.
Yeah. That nigga came down there. Tsuji came down. And you know, have you seen the Tsuji LIJ logo?
You know, I'm not sure.
So you know the LIJ logo, like they all got their own little logo, their own version of their own logo. Like, you know, obviously they got the dragon for Shingo, they got the eye for Naito or whatever else. For Shingo,
isn't that ironic? That man going blind now.
Well, I mean, it was obviously doing back to the Mexico stuff with the eye stuff, but with that's fucked up, Richard.
Look, I said, isn't that ironic?
So ironic? Come on, man, stop. Ironic. Damn you. All right, so all right, so when it comes to Tsuji, it's literally him, like with the hat, with the brimlow. You can't see his eyes. All you see is a big ass smile underneath the hat. And when he
smile for that yappa when you see it flash.
And when it's so like obviously the logos are all black background with red. So like he's actually like bringing the logo to life as during his entrance. It's just hilarious, right? So and then I'm seeing him like he's fucking Undertaker. He's Undertaker with $1 million smile. This is hilarious, like because he's all red. Like I was trying to think of all types of like Pyru, Crips, Bloods jokes. I just couldn't come up with one that's good enough. So I just say I was trying to come up with one. I didn't think of one. Y'all got it, chat. Y'all come up with one. Give me one right now. But yeah, man, he came down there, and I gotta give Finley some, some credit. Like, he was always a good wrestler. He was always somebody that could give you just a flat 4-star match or whatever else important. This is my favorite Finley match. I wasn't expecting to have ever a favorite Finley match. But yeah, man, when he hit the elevated knee lift into Shingo, not Shingo, I keep calling him Shingo, into Tsuji's face, I was like, oh, someone's leveling up their game and doing stuff I ain't seen in a while. Obviously, I'm not checking on New Japan like I used to, but it's like I haven't seen him do that before, and it's like he rose to the level of to his place on the card. So did Tsuji. Like these are the only two dudes that really did that this year.
Yeah,
like they finally got an opportunity and they knocked out the park, both of them.
So as the match went on, it just got better and better. Like they built it. At first, I thought it was going kind of slow, and then they started dropping them bombs.
Yeah. There's also the disconnect of, and look, I understand, and I'm a person that the champion is like, hey man, it's fake. Do what you want, whatever. Just make it make sense in the context of the universe of the world you built in this ring during this match. Tsuji needs to start picking and choosing when to do the flippy stuff depending on how much bigger he is than the guy he's wrestling. And I mean that from more of a safety issue than actually like whether or not it looks goofy. Like when he did that Fosbury flop and apparently Finley thought it was going to be something else and like he literally just had to land on his knees. That sucks. Not sucks like it sucks to watch, like sucks like he can't do this. He can't do no shit like that every month. That'll shorten his career. We need those knees to be around for another 15 years. So like I think he needs to start picking and choose his battle depending on if someone can actually catch him outside on that kind of stuff. So, but outside of that, no notes, great match. Just protect your knees, kid, because I need to see you wrestle at a high level for another decade, at least. You know, it's the same stuff I'd be worried about with like Darby and Ospreay. We're like, hey, bro, I don't need you in a wheelchair. No, I need you to extend the greatness as long as you possibly can while you still can be great. Please don't. No unnecessary risk.
Takeshita wins the never belt from Shingo Takagi. I saw a lot of people down on this match. I think the only way you could be
based
down
on expectation
on it is, yeah, basically like if you thought you were going to see a match of the year contender, which is a fair expectation, I get it. How
much time did it go? Did it go 15?
They went.
It didn't seem like it went long.
They went 12:42. So it was like they just needed to get a little bit more like.
I thought
if you gave them niggas 20 minutes, this shit would have like just went all the way.
Yeah. Also, I feel like they weren't trying to do that. They were trying to be give Takeshita more of a definitive win over one of the all-time never guys to get him a never belt. That's what it felt like to me because like the whole match was like you watch it and like Shingo is selling for the dude in a way that he normally doesn't sell for other people, and it was like he's so big, he's so strong, like that dude's the future. He took his strap, or he's taking his strap. He's taking his legacy.
Came out with the jacket on, incredible presentation, looking like a fucking ace.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So like he signs this agreement with New Japan, and this is like some people. So
you gotta explain the agreement because I haven't heard about this.
So Kadani basically came out and said, he has signed a deal with New Japan, and him being over there isn't necessarily a call for AEW to make. He was kind of there as a New Japan talent, at least night one. And this is like, it's been long bantered about that New Japan is a place he might want to end up long term. And if you think about it, went to America. You can't jump directly from DDT to New Japan. Go to America, use the connections there, and we clearly see what it feels like his ceiling is in AEW. This guy could be he's good enough to be the world champion, but they're just never going to push him like that. So the place that he obviously should be.
Hold on. You said he's going to be the champion. No. He's going to be the ace there.
Yeah, like
he's going to be the ace in New Japan at this point.
No, I'm talking about AEW.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. My bad.
Yeah, I'm talking about AEW. So like if like this was, I thought this was always a threat myself. Like, all right, like the second like his deal's up, like New Japan should be going after him because he is the ace that never walked through the door in New Japan Pro Wrestling to basically succeed. Okada, Tanahashi, Naito, like to succeed those guys. It's him. Yeah. Like he signs, like if he ends up like I think I heard Trish mention Takeshi's deal may be up at the end of this year with AEW. Mm-hmm. Like if he fully jumps to New Japan, right? Mm-hmm. This is the guy. Like this is the ace. Like
he should be the ace. Like it should be him and Tsuji for the next decade.
And
knock on wood, right?
Yeah, like, and I would hate to lose the guy from AEW, but like, if you were him, what would you do?
I love the stuff he's done in AEW. I would not necessarily be heartbroken to have to be able to like tune in and know that like there is a god level wrestler at the top of New Japan cards again. Because we don't really have that right now because the last guy that we had like that left last year to go to AEW. So like I do miss watching since Dream Queendom last week, right? To up to here. You know how bad I miss watching Japanese pro wrestling? And the way it's shot and the way the crowds react. I don't want to get into I don't want to sound like a snob or whatever else, They just shoot the shit better over there. It's more intimate. They keep the shit still. You can see everything. And the wrestlers know that the camera is not going to save them or bail them out, so they have to hit each other hard as fuck. It's just easy. It's. I don't feel like I'm getting played tricks with the camera, right? I don't feel like they're hiding shit from me. So it's easier to watch for me. So yeah, if Takeshi's there, it gives me more reasons to watch New Japan more often. Why not? I've always liked New Japan Pro Wrestling, except most of the guys that I really like end up in AEW.
One guy that has not ended up in AEW under any circumstance, Evil lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi in a House of Torture fest. I didn't hate this as much as I normally thought.
Now, Rich, you mentioned what were the three best? I asked you what were the three best matches in the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom this year. Do you want to know what my fourth one was?
This one?
Yes. Look, man, all them damn smoke and mirrors. I was like, Tanahashi can't move no more. Bring all the smoke and mirrors in here. Dives, Tiger Mask out there. Bro, I knew that this is gonna be I knew that we might be getting a House of Torture match that I actually might enjoy. The second they did the first lumberjack bump where Evil goes out to the ring, falls in front of House of Torture. They pull up a chair for that nigga. They sat him in the chair, and then Dick Togo waved I think it was a towel at him to get some wind on. I fucking died. I was like, y'all ain't shit. Y'all sorry. Y'all nasty for this. Yeah, man, I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Like, this was probably my favorite lumberjack match that I can think of since, like, the Luchasaurus and Wardlow joint in AEW years ago.
I remember that.
Because, like, it was just like, you know what they finna do. You know they finna bunch of run-ins, and they play the hits, and Tanahashi even get the win. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
The finish was funny as fuck. Evil hits his finish, and then Tanahashi just rolls that man up. Like, there's an immediate loss. Go to hell.
Yeah, everything is even. Got him high speed finish.
Yep.
Yeah, you ain't know about high speed ace, did you? Yeah, I've been out here at Stardom with y'all. Y'all ain't know that. Yeah,
low speed ace right there. So they start whooping his ass after the match, and then a man in a hood rolls in the ring. He pulls that shit back. It's Katsuyori Shibata.
Yep.
So in the AEW,
Charlton was like, "What's he doing here?"
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to Chris Charlton later on. But yeah, so he asked for a match the next night, and then is granted essentially because, I mean, Tanahashi made the rules anyway.
Right.
So,
right. President Ace.
Mayu Iwatani, or excuse me, the four-way. I have no memories of this four-way except Phantasmal won. Not really much to it. Happy for him.
It was a good match, though.
Yeah. IWGP women's match. Mayu Iwatani versus Azumi. Just over 8 minutes. I thought they went crazy. This was like so like I knew they were gonna end up with like 8 minutes. I was like, that's fine. Like they really don't need anything else other than that.
Like they get trained to do this anyway. It's called the 5-Star Grand Prix. Like this is what a 5-Star Grand Prix match is like. That's not the main event on on one of the like house show loops. It's not like a pay-per-view. That's why these shits are action packed. And the funny part about it is like, you say 8 minutes is like, did you say 8 minutes like, oh, they'll do high speed? Because I was like, no, you give them 8 minutes, they'll just have a regular match and that's how it'll move. And sure enough, this was not no high speed match. This is a championship bout that just went 8 minutes. And if you gave them another 8 minutes, they would have had the best match on the show.
Yeah. Azumi's one of my favorite wrestlers ever at this point. It was so cool to see her walk in the dome, and it was like, dog, like we've watched her from yay high, damn
from when she was yay high to now she's yay high.
Yeah.
We saw her when she was 4'11". Now she's 5 foot flat.
Yeah.
Actually, she might be 5'1". She might be 5'1". I'm bad.
She walked in the dome, and it was like, man, I was like, it seems like they're trying to make sure she don't go nowhere. Yeah. You stay your ass here in Stardom, you keep coming back to the dome.
Yeah. Like I just and they sort of built towards this since the Grand Prix. We're like, Azumi got her first win over Mayu. Mayu's kind of been ducking her and big leaguing her in the build. Bro, Mayu been acting super nasty. Like Dickhead Mayu has been out like in this like since Wrestle Dream and then like the pay-per-view because they've been paired together in these preview trios or quattros matches, bro, on the 1-3 show. Who was it? I believe it was Amasaki. Like either way, like Mayu was was getting caught up in some high speed pin stuff against not Azumi, but like one of her teammates in one of Azumi's teammates in Neo Genesis, and then Mayu just got out of it and then put homegirl into the Azumi sushi pin and then looked at Azumi and got the 3 count. That shit was nasty. So they've been playing this up this whole time as far as like, yeah, you know, you gotten better, but you can't beat me. And then they went out there and like Mayu was on her ass for the last, most of the last third of the match. And then Mayu overcame and got the win. But yeah, like you said, like if you look at my background, like they've been wrestling each other for since 2013. Like Azumi's been wrestling. She turns 23 this year. She turns 23 in October of this year. She just turned 22. And like she's been wrestling or actually the back. She made her debut when she was like 10 or 11. Can't remember.
So what you're saying, James, is this was the best long-term like veteran younger wrestler match on the show.
Yes. But yeah, man, it's just like it's at this point. I don't think I'm necessarily vindicated by this because we knew this. If you watch it, it's not like some secret. Like if you watch Stardom, But like I'm just happy that like Azumi got into the dome. I'm happy that Mayu was able to step ahead and break her tie with Tam Nakano for most Stardom Tokyo Dome appearances. So yeah, like, and they also played into that as far as saying like, yeah, there was no dome match for Mayu last year. She said she took that personal and like she's been awesome every time she's had to defend that belt since then. It's been fucking awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with that belt going forward, but whatever.
Look. It's just I think it's just an excuse to have Mayu so she can have big matches or whatever else. Keep doing them because the match has been fucking awesome. Like they just been the Momo match, the Shuri match, the Suri match, this match. Like all these matches have gone off at a certain level, but they've all gone off this in the last year. Like. We're not at the point now where, it's about to be, if we get to April, it'll be for 2 years, so she'll be officially forever champ. But, I mean, who do you want this to, unless you want to give it to Shuri, who else you want her to have and do as well with it?
That would be the only other person that I can think of.
I mean, obviously,
you give it to Hazuki.
Yeah.
But, they don't give Hazuki belts. So
not singles belts. It's like, oh yeah, Hazuki, like, if we wanted to, you could, like, realistically, you're probably like the second most versatile wrestler in the whole company, but like, we don't make you the top champion for that. We sing you out for all-time defenses. You just live off the all-time defenses. You will tease and piss off One Nation Radio since 2019 with these all-time defenses. But okay, bro, like the Mercedes match, the Ariso Shiki match back in 2019, the Kamatani match. She's a great wrestler. She's a truly great wrestler that's never gotten her due. I would love for her to be the white belt champion one day. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but if you put that kind of belt on her, and she shows up and does her thing, people be like, oh, it won't just be the, one match here and then one singles match every other year. It'll be, oh yeah, she does this, because she does do this.
Opener had the IWGP Junior Tag ladder match. I thought it was going to be better, but I was happy to see a lot of these guys like kind of get a spot on the show. Mm-hmm. I think I would have preferred it as a lightning fast 4-way match, like against each other, like tagging in and out, rather than a ladder match. But
so, at what point do we start calling this the Catch-22 match? No disrespect, because they always do a good job with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we're now multiple years into this. We're like, they're the opener. The junior tag is the opener for the Dome. And it's them in it.
Yeah. I was happy to see my boy Kevin Knight make his Dome debut. So
did I hear something about like his contract is up or something, or there's news about that?
It is. So he is a free agent. I would suggest organizations, try to get that man in the fold.
Look, I think whatever decision he can make is a good one. But I will say this: if he goes one of them, look, they'll be talking about his untapped potential for a long, long time in NXT. Oops! Did I spill the beans on what I'm talking about? You could be the next Tripp Williams or Carmelo Hayes. What good does that do me when they don't book black wrestlers on these main cards on pay-per-view? Are you saying I'm a TV wrestler?
Yeah.
That's what the new thing. It'd be like they go talking code like, oh yeah, that's a TV wrestler. He's black. Black.
Yep. Kevin Knight be there. Like, people be confused about, what do you mean you don't have to teach him the fundamentals? Like, he already got it,
Right.
Have
you not seen that nigga's hot tag? The fundamentals are there.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
So yeah, man, let's jump to day 2, man. I like day 2 a lot more, man. And it came down to just how it felt in the building. The vibe was a lot better, seemingly. Crowd was more engaged, even though there were less people there.
How many less people?
I want to say about 8,000 less people.
So okay, so what was it like? So that
16.
means. Say again?
They were around 16,000, and I think the first night was like 24,000.
Okay.
So, like, we started the pre-show, and this was awesome. 4-way women's match, Momo Watanabe, Persephone, Athena, and Willow Nightingale. And I would have probably gave this about 4 stars, honestly. And Momo got the
win. A match with Athena, Momo Watanabe, and Willow Nightingale, and some woman that I've never heard of. So happened to be great. You could draw. Look, they could have. Who could we put out there? Hell. Trying to think who we could put out. We could have put Trish or Sarah or Leah out there, and then it still would have been great.
Momo got the win by hitting Athena in the face with a bat after Tekla was out there with her. Bro, she hit her with the greatest bat shot of all time. I swear to God, it sounded off in the dome. Like, bro, nobody swung a bat like that in the dome like that since Shohei Ohtani. Unreal. I thought Athena looked great. Willow, this was the environment that she should have been in. I got flashbacks. I'm like, oh man, I remember Aja Khan was in this building. Like, I don't remember, but I've seen it.
Right.
Persephone, first time I ever seen her.
What you think?
Got the goods.
Okay.
Got the goods. Like, very physical, tall build, kind of. Throws suplexes, not afraid of the physicality. Yeah, like she's gonna be somebody to watch. Absolutely.
Okay.
Momo really didn't got to do much, but she won. So shout out to Velkej. I know he went crazy somewhere. Momo finally won. She got a cup. She got to challenge whoever the fuck, and they set up a Athena and Tekla title match in Stardom.
Oh, I knew it. Okay, so in the 1-3 show, they tagged together in the opener. And, like, they had this, fun interaction thing where, like, they're like, yeah, we're both evil, so we're friends, because that's how wrestling works, always, right? But meanwhile, like, they're doing stuff like, I kind of hate you. And then, like, they had a malfunction at Junction at one point, and then Athena was like, what is your problem? And then at the end, at first it came down and, like, Athena gave Tekla a Minions t-shirt. I fucking died. But by the end of it, Athena wants nothing to do with Tekla, and Tekla's trying to be like, hey, like, there's nothing, everything's all good. She's like, I like her. bitch. He called her a bitch behind her back. So I knew something was going on. So I'm glad we're gonna have a match. That's gonna be a good match. But yeah.
Then we had the Sons of Texas beat the House of Torture. This was just a kind of a cool novelty thing. They had a real basic match. It was good.
How do you think Dustin moved?
He's Dustin Rhodes. He's like 55 at this point, so he's cool.
Okay, because I saw a little clip of him running the ropes. I was like, it don't look the same like it used to. That boy used to fly off the ropes.
I mean, when
I say used to, I mean like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they got Sammy with him now. Like, go out there and be a highlight film. But, this is a mirror match, old guy and the young guy that, has been disappointing on various levels. So Sons of Texas got the win. Happy for Sammy. Got to wrestle in the Dome. Long time dream of his. Lucha Gauntlet. This shit was funny as fuck. Oh, my God. So the participants in this were Taiji Ishimori, El Desperado, getting that real match, Hechicero, Kosei Fujita, Mascara Dorada, Master Wato, Soberano Jr., and Teton.
So did all them dudes jump on Desperado for perpetrating?
Nah.
You are a fake luchador.
Nah.
Get out of here. Stop it. You come out with the fucking mariachi music. You already got the pants. We've been whoop your ass.
They whooped them, but not for that reason.
Brown face. We've been waiting. Look. You've been ducking us from Fantastica Mania every single year. T-Tom been trying to get a hold of you in the back of the locker room, but we can't ever find you. You out here now. We finna beat the brakes off you for this.
That's funny because they did all these niggas got in the ring one by one, right? Hezero's in there, good reactions, whatever. Mascara Dorada goes viral, literally on Twitter. You can check it right now.
Okay.
But Desperado's music hits. He comes out wearing the belt, and he's the champion, right?
Right.
So the whole ring stops, and they watch that nigga make his entrance or whatever. They cut back to the ring. This big-ass nigga Hechicero is out here doing the belt motion and shit like he wants to. I'm like, what the fuck belt does he think he's about to win off of Desperado? That is a junior belt, nigga.
Right, brother, you are definitely above the 225-pound weight limit.
Yeah, hey, bro, you gotta get your eyes checked.
You just wrestled the style, but that's like when me about to do CrossFit this weekend. Like I just appreciate the style. I can't actually do this. I'm not one of them. Are you serious?
So this nigga Desperado rolls in the ring, and bro, they treated this nigga like it was a gang initiation. They went upside this nigga head and kicked the shit out of him and all hit their moves on him all in a row.
Good. Good. Good.
And then Taiji Ishimori sneaks Desperado and pins him like with a backslide or some shit. And he wins. And they're setting up that as the next title program. After that, we got the grappling exhibition of Hiroshi Tanahashi and Katsuyori Shibata, and this fucking rocked. I love this. It's cool. So they are locking up with each other for about a minute, right? And they're working the holds and the headlocks and stuff like that. Okay. And all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Let's just chop each other. They chop each other for 3 minutes or whatever, bro, and it's amazing. Like the way they're just it's like one more. It's like, hey man, this is war kind of still. Let's do it. Let's chop. And then they go to a time limit draw. And then after the show, Shibata is like, let's run it back again. Let's do it in AEW essentially. So I'm sure we're gonna get the real match, but for what this was, it was kind of beautiful, actually. Just seeing like how they responded to seeing Shibata out there. This match and moment kind of happening together. I hate to say it. This is a Tokyo Dome moment. This is kind of what that was. I like this. I thought it was, especially if you know like some of the history between these guys. Tanahashi wasn't exactly welcoming to Shibata upon him coming back to New Japan.
He had to go a long way to earn it.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool. I thought this was something you should not skip if you watch this show.
Also, if you did not know this is another reason why like them taking down them show buckle videos was a disaster or a tragedy. Like they told you so much in those video essays about like stuff you may have not known about New Japan Pro Wrestling, and like where else you going to find that out?
And also, Showbuckle wasn't out here with no agendas either. Like, what happened to the good old days, James? Yeah. What happened?
I mean, the Showbuckle stuff is still up on like the Congress archive if you want to look for it. I got it saved or the link saved in the thing. But yeah.
Women's title match: Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa. This was another good one for Mercedes, man. She's on fire, bro. Sailor Moon cosplay. Mina came out, got to do the dance in the dome. Big presentation here. This was awesome. Easy 4 stars for sure. And just over 14 minutes. They worked kind of a different style match than Mayu and
of course
Azumi, obviously. Not as fast.
Just slower, more deliberate, more selling, especially like limb work as far as like Mina probably working the legs.
Yep. And Mercedes ends up getting the win here. Gets basically the Rev Pro belt, which has 2 belts in it. So she's walking around with 4 actual belts now. She's looking like Ultimo Mercedes. They got about 14 minutes and 6 seconds. So they got quite a, by the time it was wrapping up, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, they had a standard length match here.
Right. So my question is, so if we look at Mercedes 2024, like, let's do this. From the time she showed up at Big Business to now. Like, do we blame or do we give credit for them dropping the Camille stuff? Because the stuff that Mercedes was doing before Camille was really good. And then with Camille, it wasn't that great. I think we talked about it. And then ever since dropping her, it's been great again. So do we say good job? So do we say good job for recognizing it's a mistake, or do we go back and say you never should have done this, fool? Which one?
I think this seems kind of circumstantial because I don't think Camille really affected the wrestler because she was getting thrown out a lot of those matches. So like she wasn't necessarily there.
She wasn't making the matches better.
Yeah. I just don't know if character wise,
it didn't help none of her bills for these matches.
I'll say this: like having her there, not there now, leads to less temptation to do stupid segments like that. She either doesn't have the range for, or it just the dynamic isn't correct.
Have we seen her since they split?
No.
Good.
Up next, we had David Finlay and Brody King. Brody King, a man that many in the New Jahideen community were wondering why was even let into the Tokyo Dome. Meanwhile, this man comes out here and instantly gets over in the dome. And these guys have a knockdown, drag out war of throwing each other, beating the fuck out of each other. And this was awesome. Like, and then it built, David Finlay ends up powerbombing this man at the end. Just Brody King doing all the, hey, I'm a big motherfucker in Japan stuff, like instantly gets over.
Who sees Brody King on a New Japan logo or on a New Japan match graphic and says, that's not a good idea? Who? If you've watched him before, he's getting over immediately in Japan.
I guess they just want...
He's a big guy that chops. Are you new here?
Look, I guess because he's not... how do I say this? He's not one of the 2 or 3 biggest stars in the pro. It's not Will Ospreay coming back to put his shoulders on the ground for David Finlay. This is why people were upset. So, I mean, but instead he got to take a 300-pound motherfucker and put his face in the sand. Okay. Yeah.
Y'all want to sit Oleg over here and see how that goes?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, look, we're going to get to it when we do the Kenny and Gabe match, but man, I got some words for these motherfuckers, boy. It's just like, and it if you think this kind of reminded me a lot of the first Forbidden Door show, like where they set these wrestlers out there, and then people are not really jazzed about the card for whatever reason. But
and then the bell rings, you're like, oh yeah, you're idiots.
Yeah, it was like, oh, all these people are gonna come in motivated as fuck, and then they're gonna like try to establish a franchise. Oh, and they're probably gonna like have really good chemistry with each other because they're gonna try
each other.
Because they're gonna try. Oh, and it's awesome. Like, and everyone just ends up looking dumb that they would wasted time for like a month doing this.
I don't. It's New Japan and it's AEW and it's Stardom and it's CMLL in 2000 in this era, in this time frame right now with a lot of talent. Like, you have to kind of go out of your way to try really hard and not have a good like co-promotional show between all the talent that's there. Like, you have like between like just straight up like New Japan still with whatever, they have young guys that are really good. AEW has 1 million guys that are good. Stardom has 1 million women that are good. AEW and CML have all have good women. Like, it's not. This isn't. What? Why would it not be good outside of you worrying about the politics of it and saying like, this isn't what I really want, even though like, okay, you could have nothing. Well, you could rather have a great show or you could have nothing. I'll take the great show. Like, you know what it sounds like? What is the theory about it's a theory about like when people win the lotto, about like how how families fall out through like the money over the thing, and it's like, but no one ever thinks like, the day before your financial situation was your financial situation. The next day it's changed forever. If you get $1 you weren't expecting, you should be grateful. But people fall out over it. This is like the equivalent of that, like when it comes to these shows. And it's like, bro, like, I get it. You want these to be programs, whatever else. And like, that would be, if optimized, this would be for the best if like, somebody were to go over there for a month and then they come back for a month or whatever else. But that's not realistic.
It's like people got lives.
But like, or you'd be like, you could wish for that for it to be the very best possible outcome. Or you be happy that you got this $1 you weren't ever expecting to get. That fell into your pocket because somebody in your family won a lotto. Take it how you want to. Like, but for me, it's like, hey man, these shows are cool, and like they could always be worse. They could always be worse. And they could come out there and run out the young boys, all of them. You could get no shoulders on the mats for any of this stuff. You could have double countouts to galore. You could have, double DQ galore. No contest galore.
Bunch of whiners.
I don't necessarily about whiners. Like, yes, I agree with you. I would like it to be the way that y'all want it to be, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of this show was really good, or this show had a bunch of really talented people face each other for the first time, or like they have something going. So like, let's see it, and I'm sure it's going to be a good card.
It's like they don't ever see it happening ahead of time. Like, it's just perpetual doom. That, I don't mean to mention Big Boom AJ, but it's perpetual doom over like the idea of these things. And it's just like, how many times do y'all have to like run into this, this brick wall essentially? Shota Umino versus Claudio Castagnoli is up next. I feel like Claudio sat Shota down and was like, I'm gonna give you this. Here's a simple layout. I'm gonna whoop your ass for 80% of this match, and then you gonna hit your move at the end and win. All right, that's literally what happened. Like, Claudio jumps him during his entrance. Shota Umino is 2 for 2 at riding his scooter into the dome.
It's a motorcycle. Stop that. You called it a scooter.
That man coming out there with that joint on the bottom of it, like hit like. I think
now you should say like it looks like a cop bike.
That's what, yeah. Look, shooter. Look, his dad is a ref. That's police adjacent. So,
now, the one thing that's for me, this is another thing like that's also weird when you go back to the match at the Dome with Sabre, right? What was the situation? What was the fallout with Death Riders and Shota? and Moxley and Shota. What was that? How did that end?
No idea. I guess it was this.
The reason why I ask is because, like, I believe in commentary they mentioned, like, they have, that ended, but yet you see Shota doing the Death Rider, right? You see him doing, like, the BCC Death Riders, Danielson elbows and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, all right, is it just like you learned this from this guy even though he doesn't fuck with you no more, and so he's going to use it? Or what is this? I don't know. Or maybe he was saving this for Claudio. I don't know.
Claudio Castagnoli does a absolute clean as a sheet job here, which is like incredible because he never jobs. Like it's very rare. That man told Kazuchika Okada to take that draw with him. Like like before the C2.
He jobbed for Swerve.
Summer. He did job for Swerve. The world champion at the time.
But the thing is, like, he is a gatekeeper. You're supposed to protect gatekeepers. He's 6'5". Look, who did he wrestle recently? Who did he wrestle on Dynamite last Wednesday?
He was in the C2 against Commander.
No. He was wasn't he in a trios match? Oh, he was in an Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Edge and FTR versus Claudio, Moxley, and Yuta. Now, bro, they put Claudio in the ring with Copeland, and he looked like he was two whole inches taller than Copeland. Bro, like, look, I get it. Look, I know. But he's a gatekeeper. His whole thing is like, I barely lose to anybody. When I do, they're going to get a title shot. That's the role. So I get it. Like, yeah, you gonna whoop someone's ass and lose. Like, you gonna whoop someone's ass and lose.
Yeah.
But that's the role.
But, I didn't really find this match too inspiring. Like, it was okay. But up next, the one was way more than inspiring. Konosuke Takeshita versus Tomohiro Ishii in a classic Tokyo Dome. Just, oh my God. They left this nigga Tomohiro Ishii off of dome card after dome card after dome card. I want Gedo thrown in jail. This man's 49 years old. It doesn't fucking matter. He just comes in, delivers. He walks in the dome. The people go fucking crazy. He feels different. Takeshita meets him. These two have had insane chemistry ever since Forbidden Door 2023. Anytime they got in the ring together, it's been off the fucking charts. This match was lights out incredible.
So the one thing that's always interesting, like, obviously, he was in AEW over the summer because he wasn't in the G1 this year or last year, right? So there's also that. Like, when they showed during the Never match the day before, Takeshita and Shingo both laid out, and they zoom, they do the camera shot to show the belt. They say, like, this is what they're doing. This is what the hell they're going through for this belt. They showed the shot of both belts because it was the international belt and also the Never. They showed both belts, and then they zoomed out a little bit, and like at the table was Ishii arm folded watching the match, and you could hear the crowd at the sight of, oh yeah, the winner has to face Ishii. Like, the guy, the presence, the name, like it holds weight. Still to this day, it holds weight. So yeah, like, it does not surprise me that, like, the crowd the crowd was happy to see him in a big match because they know he's fucking awesome still.
They don't push him. They don't do anything with this guy. Like, this man had to come to America to basically secure his the dome slot this year. I'm sure Tony was like, yeah, do Ishii on the second day or whatever. But I thought this was just a level above the Shingo match. I felt like I was not left wanting more at all from this. This just totally delivered on every level. And it was just like, God, like, by the time I watched this, it was like, this nigga Takeshi was a god for one. And then Tomohiro Ishii is an ageless wizard. Like,
how old is he now? 47?
49. Doing hurricanranas off the top rope and shit. Bro, he's incredible, bro. He's an all-time great, like, like, he takes care of himself, like, to make sure he's able to do this stuff. And it's crazy because he walks like he's hurt, but he soldiers through.
Remember 5 years ago when we were like, when he had the G1 match with Moxley and Kurikan Hall and Air Ishii. Remember that?
Yes.
And we were like, yeah, man, how the fuck, can he do this and the third at this age, whatever else? 5 years later, apparently he's doing Rondas. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Go out of your way to see this. I wouldn't be mad if somebody threw 5 on this or 4 3/4. Like, it's amazing. 3-way tag match. The Young Bucks versus LIJ of Hiromu and Tetsuya Naito and Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. And the Young Bucks came back, new gear, working out hard, showed up in great condition. And then this was just like, it was like a best of kind of match. Like, I think the Dome was happy to see them. They got some chants in there, good reaction. They basically put Tetsuya Naito in the corner and was like, "Hey, don't do nothing. You just gonna be a decoy over there. You stand over there with the aura, and stuff like that." And then like just the human highlight reel of things that the Young Bucks can do with Jeff Cobb, who could throw them all around. O'Khan really wasn't really much of a factor in this. They paired off with...
O'Khan's not meant for multi-people matches. Yeah. He's not here for house party matches. Get him out of here. He's not here for the PWG style or the Stardom multi-person style match. No, get him. Just... What are you supposed to do? Put a claw on a bitch?
Yeah. They paired off with Hiromu once. They gave Naito a spot. There was a funny-ass spot where Jeff Cobb had Naito in the corner, and he did Naito's entire corner attack to Naito, where he jumps over the ropes, sweeps the foot.
Legs, and then the kick. Yeah, that's hilarious.
He does that shit to Naito, and it's fucking hilarious.
Those two always have good matches, or always had good matches.
Yeah, so
we gotta put it in past tense now, because I think the days of good matches with Tetsuya and Naito are over.
Yeah, the Bucks end up getting the pin, I believe, on O'Khan, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then they are actually set up to defend the championships at the New Beginning against Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay.
So
they won Tag League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then because that's how they got the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They rolled out the red carpet for the Bucks, and it was really good to see them kind of back in the Dome environment and Japan itself, and it was like they were doing all the shit they used to do. They came out to their old music or whatever that got a pop. And then they were basically like doing those things like do something cool. Like they're just, that shit where they would like yell to do shit. It was classic Young Bucks in a sense. Really good feeling match here.
So are they going to bring those belts to Dynamite?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because if they come back and like start having big matches with those belts, and then like Private Party ain't done shit with the tag belts. It's like, okay.
Look, I'm here to tell you right now, they ain't gonna do shit with the belts either. It's almost like they really didn't want to do. They didn't have no plan for them. Global match: Yota Tsuji versus Jack Perry. This was not
from that. Okay. Like they really didn't have nothing to do with it. Like, hey man, is Isaiah Cassidy ever gonna get like his lick back on the Death Riders for hitting his hand with a hammer like that? No,
probably not.
Okay. Like they can't even get like a challenge from Death Riders, and they just beat them and send them away. Masi ain't got to be in the match. Just pin Yuta.
Well,
have it be Yuta in Pac, and then beat Yuta.
I'm sure we will see that match, but I am not so sure Private Party will beat the Death Riders. So there's nothing by the television that tells me that. So
I mean, there's nothing on television to tell you that like Death Riders losing the damn thing. So
yeah. So global match. Yota Tsuji defends against Jack Perry. This was not good. It was just there. Like there was like one cool spot Jack did where he caught like a reversal off a knee. He was trying to do the spear, but he caught him with that. But this just wasn't. I want Jack Perry to turn back babyface or at least start doing flips again. Somebody's got in his head. Like he has not been the guy that I've known him to be throughout the last 5 years for about, I don't know, like I would probably say over the summer, I think I started like saying, like his matches, he's just not doing like he's basically taking everything out of his offense that's exciting. He just doesn't know how to do it. Like it seemingly in a way that is engaging. Like the babyface ends up, crowd has fun when they see him lose at the end, which is all right, yeah. But it's like, nah, like it ain't it. This ain't it, Jack. Like
everybody's meant to be a heel. It happens.
Yeah, he needs to turn babyface, and I have a lot of.
Aren't we glad that we played the Wembley backstage footage for all this? Aren't we glad that happened? Oh, by the way, why the fuck did I allow that to not be drafted on FOH? I screwed that up.
I forgot.
I can't believe, like, when I went through, like, there was a point, like, the other day, I was like, oh my god, I was just driving, I was like, oh my god! How did I let this slip through my fingers? Like, bro, I forgot how, it flashed over me, like, how much I fucking hated when they played that video footage. And then now it's like, it's even worse, because, like, nothing came of it as far as, like, a status quo change in the storylines in AEW. It's like, they made a faction, and the faction sometimes is here, sometimes it's not. It doesn't really command much power or respect. It's been defanged. They're not on TV.
They just let the air out the balloon on the shit slowly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I failed y'all as a content creator for getting that one. My bad.
Yeah. But up next, singles match. Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. One of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. After 13 months, 2 feet of diverticulitis removed from the body, motherfuckers forgetting about him. People just taking them for granted. People just not understanding what this guy's value has been in the world of pro wrestling at large. Kenny Omega returns to the Dome like God himself, better than he ever was, moving in a way that it feels like he's 5 years younger, seemingly extending his prime when some people thought he was leaving it. Yes, as the subscribers are saying right now, our savior rises again. I thought this match was just from start to finish perfect. And that goes from the entrances, that goes to like the theme, how the theme songs made you feel when they were playing them. Gabe come out there with all his homies. It actually kind of reminded me of when Kenny used to come out to big matches with the Bucks, but except he came out with like 4 of those guys. Do you remember in the cage match with Swerve and Heyman how Prince Nana was on the outside of the ring talking all the shit the whole time and just kind of adding a little bit to it? Like, yeah,
they were doing the same thing except we'll just cuss word after cuss word after cuss word. Yeah,
and they're saying like that motherfucker's hurt. Like I was really like it's right there, like you're feeling it. The commentary at times I think was grating, but I think overall was a positive for the match. But Charlton kind of stepped in it. And people are acting like he didn't step in it.
Okay,
they gotta stop.
So I listened to it and like, I heard he got suspended for this.
Yeah, he ended up getting suspended.
What do you think was the thing he said that got him suspended?
Called Tony Khan a money mark.
So you think he got suspended for the money mark comment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, basically, Rocky was like, "Hey, man, you need to chill. You got too much dip on your chip." Like,
Well, they basically, you can hear audio drop, but it wasn't during that. You can hear audio drop once he said about like the AEW took New Japan guys. Once he started dropping Jay White, Ospreay, there was a pause in the audio, and then all of a sudden you hear him pick back up and then mention Okada, and then you hear Rocky was like basically trying to cut him
wrap
off.
that shit up.
Yeah. But like but as far as the story of the match is like, this isn't anything different from like telling the story from the perspective of a person that works for New Japan and the situation. Like, it's not like for example when when Kaito and Okada had that thing where they did that work shoot thing, and then like you heard your boy say like it's not Okada's fault that you didn't get over, kid. Like, it was one of those like it's a rivalry or it's a thing between the two promotions right now, and it's supposed to be a biased commentator telling you the story to make you enjoy that. That's how I saw it. I didn't see it as like he's going into business. I didn't see it as that.
Yeah, I just thought he was doing too. I just thought he was doing too much. Like it was like, all right.
I mean, obviously, someone thought he was doing too much. He got suspended.
Yeah, look, New Japan Pro Wrestling allegedly thought he was doing too much. So I mean, I don't know. But back to the real shit. I thought this was like, a couple months ago, I sent out a tweet. I thought this was going to have traces of Austin and Brett on it. Some people jumped out the window to try to tell me I was wrong. I didn't know what I was talking about. People say anything on the app. Well, how about it now, motherfucker? I just seem to keep getting these things correct. It's almost like I know what the fuck I'm talking about with this pro wrestling shit sometimes. Just a little bit. But I thought the environment for this was so cool. The story of it was so cool of like Kenny Omega coming back, choosing to come back to New Japan himself with his deal. So not AEW. That's why I think the Charlton thing doesn't hit for me, because it's like it's not necessarily AEW versus New Japan, because Kenny Omega is not really representing AEW being here. He's just that's who he's contracted to. Whatever. I was like, leave that shit for Gabe, with everything. But Gabe,
but the thing is, he is selling the point. He is selling the conflict or the grievance that Gabe Kidd has against Kenny Omega on behalf of New Japan. Like, that is what Charlton is selling. And also, he worked there as the guys exited or left and went to AEW. So, like, he has a perspective. It's like if Tony Schiavone was still around, the guys that came back or whatever else from WWF or whatever else, and like the guys came back, it was like, yeah, this asshole left. Like, speaking of Schiavone, he had that tweet about Charlton.
Oh, yeah. Schiavone fired back, said you stank.
Hey, man.
Watch your ass. Tony Schiavone, One Nation Radio listener.
That was insane. But anyway, like, it's just, that's all I saw. It is like he's helping tell the story of the tension of like why it could be seen as legitimate from the perspective of whatever else. Like, as far as the too much, I didn't see it as that. But like, you can spend him.
When he's literally pulling lines from podcasters, talking about Okada being a meme and stuff, and it's like, how does this add to Gabe and Kenny? Let's get to it, man. Let's stick to where we at. Like, you were watching an all-time classic happen in front of you. So tell me what's happening.
So for me, as far as the match, like I see the score, I see this cage match scoring this, and I'm flabbergasted. But like, because I'm up, I have it. Like, I don't think this is Kenny Omega's 5th or 10th best match. I think that's absurd. But yeah, like, I thought it was a great match. And like, yeah, it wasn't necessarily. I think so much of it is like Kenny Omega at this point, like, we'll see when he gets back to AEW, but like, this match does not lead me to believe like the Kenny Omega that we've known and loved for all these years is the same guy, and nor should he be. But like, this was like, it was a death match. It was a well-told death match or whatever, but it's like the movement is still there in spurts or whatever, but like, a classic Kenny Omega Okada match. I'm not sure. We'll see. We're going to see in July, but like, there are a lot of things that were done in this match to do the whole, get through a long lift match or whatever else at that stage or whatever. So we'll see. But it was still a great match, but it was like, it's weird with Gabe Kidd for me, because Gabe Kidd does the, I think he wants to be Eddie Kingston, which is funny because, he got injured wrestling, or Kingston got injured wrestling him. But it's like, he wants to be I'm the real guy. And then it's like, but like, you don't show the vulnerability of the pain of being a pro wrestler.
I think he does show
Let me finish. I mean that as a character, not in the ring. Not selling in the ring. As a character.
He showed it through his ring gear.
The vulnerability by wearing the line?
Yes, because the whole thing behind all the bullshit that he has going on or whatever, or, everything he does with the talk game, this guy fucking loves New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We already knew that. Saying you love the promotion you work for is not being... okay, It is vulnerable.
And he's a bad guy, but there's a heart of gold underneath that. He's vulnerable
in the same way that like CM Punk is vulnerable right now. So much he loves WWE too. Like it's not. I'm home. It's like anyone can say that. Like it's like.
But he's willing to go in there and really fight it out in a way that like CM Punk's not wrestling like that.
But Rich, I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about the wrestler.
But his character is his wrestling.
Rich, I'm talking about the character as he cuts promos and sells matches. And then
yes, you have you like. I don't think you're like looking deep enough on him. Like I think you're.
Because nothing's deep with him. Eddie thinks he's deep. He's not.
No, he's absolutely deep. I think. I think what you're missing is like you're seeing like the Conor McGregor over, kind of exterior, but you're not seeing like what's behind that. And he showed me in this match what's behind that.
I'm far more impressed with him as a wrestler when the bell rings than him as a character. Because the character does nothing for me. It's off-putting. It just is. Like, I think he's a very good wrestler with a lot of potential as someone that could be like a great brawler or whatever else and can sell you on matches. But like, I think there is a limitation to the stuff he can do being like cutting promos the way he cuts promos. I just think this flat out is. And like,
but he doesn't have those restrictions. Like, he's not on American TV.
I didn't say he was. I'm saying it's flat even for like the guys we've seen in Japan and speak English.
Did you see how the people at the Dome reacted to him?
Yeah, they like him. Cool. They like a lot of wrestlers in New Japan.
Bro, this guy
does he have some type of special? Hold on. He's in the ring with Kenny Omega. Are you trying to say he has a better connection with the Japanese fans than Kenny Omega?
James. They cheered him over Kenny Omega.
Because he's working heel! That's the point!
I get that, but he has to be able to walk in those shoes. They're not just going to cheer anybody over Kenny Omega. Like, this guy was picked for a reason. Like, this guy was picked for a reason, and he stepped the fuck up. I think if you didn't like Gabe Kidd, you should respect Gabe Kidd after this. If you respected him, you'll probably like him. If you like him, you'll love him.
I thought this was a great match. The character does nothing for me.
So if you like him, you love him, and if you love this guy, you'll take a bullet for this motherfucker. I was so impressed.
I'm hearing this conversation from you.
I was so impressed. Like, bro, I think this guy, he could be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. No bullshit. Like, there's so many of the parallels there. He's a great wrestler, great talker. Like, and bro, I think this guy's phenomenal.
Hold on, because I'm assuming it's gonna get clipped. Like, I know what you mean when you say that. People are gonna be listening to you say that. They're gonna be like, "What do you mean, the biggest wrestler in the business?" Like, we're not having. We're talking about like the parallels as far as like the character and that kind of thing. We're not talking about like, will he be the biggest draw of the '90s? Knock it the fuck out, Hold on, on your behalf. Knock it the fuck off. Dork's gonna be in the comment section. All right, continue.
I was gonna say, because with Gabe, I think the second that he's with you, kind of quote unquote, and he's not like the antagonistic thing, he will find a way to connect with people. It's like our heroes are hidden inside of villains, I feel like, and he's always been a bad guy or whatever, but deep in him, there's a reason he had Tanahashi crying at the end of this. Like, bro, like this, I think this match was so special. Like,
I thought this match was very thoughtful, and like I mentioned, like the stuff where he's pulling out all the Inoki stuff, that was genius. But for me, the character, the stuff he does before the bell rings or whatever else to get me to watch a match, I don't care for in that way. Like, I don't find him interesting at all in that way. I'm interested in him once the bell rings, not selling a match, because it's like, fuck you, pussy. I'll kill you with one body blow. What are you talking about? He said in the press conference to Kenny Omega, I can kill you with one body shot. I was like, that's how you're selling this match, that you could kill someone with a body shot.
But deep underneath that is a guy that's struggling with mental health, struggling with damn nearing himself, like, and all this other stuff. Like, there is that exterior to, or that interior to him. So like,
so you're saying he's pushing T on Runaway. Like,
what I'm saying is,
pay no attention to what he's saying. Focus on what he's not saying, and feel like that is actually the vulnerability.
Bro, he's coming. This man made himself millions of dollars on January 5th. I guarantee it. Like,
the match, yeah. I'm not arguing about the match, Rich.
Sam, we know how much James hates wrestlers struggling with mental health. That's great.
I don't even know what that's about.
Hangman.
Hangman has mental health issues? Or he was just a wishy-washy friend?
See? Exactly. So, but yeah.
Here's the thing. You show me what is happening, like the thing with the elite stuff, right? That stuff that y'all love is stuff that's happening on BTE, right? Cool. I didn't watch BTE. That is supplemental. If you want me to see it, put it on your fucking TV show. That's not a Hangman thing. That's a Tony Khan thing. Now, back to this. They didn't even have a video package for this. That could have helped. But
they didn't play one before that? I could have swore they did.
No. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The match was fucking awesome. My problem is when it comes to Gay Kid, everything I ever see of him is just like. So it's just like I get it. Like you're doing that, but it's like I just find it to be so boring. I've seen a million other people do it, and it's like if you're going to do it, you have to show some type of vulnerability. Like Eddie Kingston. He's one of the few people that I've seen do it and do it well, because like eventually he shows you the vulnerability and the stuff he suffers through and that kind of thing. Now, there's time for him to learn this. He's still young, but it's like if that is all the character has to offer, I'm not just wrestle then. Like just okay, cool, bro.
So when he
bring the big match out. He's got the big match in you. Go ahead.
So when he was walking out of the ring, Tanahashi's crying. They're panning to him. He's looking at Tanahashi. His homeboys are struggling and carrying him out. That didn't buy you as much as Okada crying in the Tokyo Dome. Like that's not like on par with that. That's like
it didn't. It didn't because I got done watching it at like 11 something or like an hour ago before we started this show. I had to turn it right off. I had to zoom through that shit, so I missed that part.
Okay, we're working with different information then.
Okay,
so.
There you go.
But yeah. As far as Kenny,
like you didn't mention the Austin thing, and if that's the case, and like that is a part of the broken and or what do you call it? Beaten but pride still there. Walk off with blood in your face, like also like at WrestleMania 13. But yeah, like that's a nice start. But my problem has been or not a problem. My critique of him when it comes to whatever I've seen has been like there's never been much of anything like that except up until apparently the other day. So that's a good start.
I would say like this match energized the online AEW fan base in a way around Kenny Omega that I don't know has done in such a long time. Instant demands for him to win the AEW championship and be pushed like this and presented like this. Like this was like God tier, like with the big music, the reverence shown for him, and it was like. When we talk about the difference in New Japan and then in AEW, it's so fucking clear over the last 2 weeks. And it's like, I think this guy's the greatest wrestler of all time. So many people agree. And I think I was just so happy to watch this match. And
you go through the layers of this. We talked about like the Inoki stuff, right? There's also the part of this, like they start the match out with Bryce Remsburg. I thought it was good that like you have Charlton pointed out, like, he's an AEW ref. It seems like he's giving favor to Omega. He gets wiped out on that flip dive to the floor. So then they're allowed to just go out there and basically have a no DQ match until Reshu shows up, like, I don't know, 10 minutes later in the match. Like, there's stuff like that. There's that kind of thought put into these matches with Omega. And it's like,
bro, they set the whole shit up, like, with the dive and moving the refs out the way and then, like, kicking the young boy and just, like, all these like things. I thought just if it was like if I picked up this fucking notebook right here, right? Like, and I just wrote out just like all the things that were gonna happen. Like I would assume like they don't actually do this, but if I did this, I would come back and look at this notebook and say we hit every fucking single thing we tried out there and how to set it up and draw the right emotion out of people, and then like ultimately peak it with a great stretch at the end there of just like who's gonna crack essentially. And just this was out of this world. Like the timeline during this match was just
like the job of like The diver tried to get him up for the one ring angel diverticulitis.
Down.
He goes down, but he's not out here. It doesn't, it's not like it's not a Seth Rollins sell job. It's okay, I got to tighten back up, re-brace myself, recompose myself, then get the job done. Or Kamigoye, and then later match goes a little bit longer. Kamigoye, then get him up there and finish it. Like, yeah, man, like he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and like. Enjoy it while we still have it at this certain level, because I don't think necessarily is at the same level it used to be, which is saying something, because this match is fucking awesome. But it's like we don't know how many more of these we gonna get, because we had him we had him for like a year last time, right?
I think he worked like 13 matches in 2023.
Okay, yeah, so. Like
so let's not fuck around, Tony Khan. Let's not fuck around, AEW.
If you need to treat him as if he's as if you only got a certain number of dates. He's not somebody you can expect to be wrestling every 2-3 weeks. Treat it as such. Maximize your ability. Do interesting stuff. Make it mean something. If he's not the champion, treat him like he's the next best thing after that. It's quite honestly what they should be doing with Jon Moxley, but instead they just gave him the fucking belt and put it in a briefcase.
Yeah, and he's tying up the Rock and Roll Express with duct tape and shit. This is the heat in these streets, man, and this shit.
And all the shit we gave Naito earlier for that abomination he put on in the Sun main event, right? At least he's drawing down the card. He helped draw that gate by him, or him and Hiromu. That match drew that down the card. Jon Moxley might want to learn that lesson. You don't have to be at the top of the card to draw.
Amazing. But yeah, Omega and Kid, I'm interested to see where Dave goes on it. Like this, man, this is.
I think he's going 5,
bro. I think he's going 6, easy.
I
think he's going 6 easy.
Hold on. Let me just mentally.
I think I heard. I didn't listen to the radio or anything, but I think I secondhand heard that he came on there and the first thing he said was like, Kenny Omega's better than Terry Funk. Like this was like Dave Meltzer saying this. So like we know what Terry Funk means to him. So like just speaking Dave, right? That's just going up. Like.
What did he give Golden Lovers match? Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks. What did he give that?
I think he only gave that 5. Only 5, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, that match is better than that match, but whatever. But yeah, great match. Should get 5 from Dave Meltzer. I give it 5. I don't, and at the same time while saying that, I don't think it's a top 10 Kenny Omega match I've ever seen. That's kind of the level we're at with Kenny Omega. Because I don't, like, you want to take that match, you want to take one of them Ishii matches from the G1s?
I don't know, honestly. Some of this
different, but I'm just saying, from my particular taste, give me the match. Give me the matchy match.
Some of this is time and place and him just getting off, literally beating death. And then, just being so wrapped up in, the performance they did.
Because that shit's higher rated than, like, the Tanahashi Dome match. I'm like, okay, buddy. That sounds insane to me.
Like, bro,
but whatever. Like, people love it, and obviously, you know how cage match ratings, they'll go down over time because people hate.
Yeah, it was at 9.73 for a while, and then it was like 9.71. Now it's like 9.69. So,
that's where we're talking about. Like, yo, this is nuts. Like, this is nuts. This is a top 5 KO match at 9.8 something.
Yeah, man. I get it, man.
Like, it's higher rated than one of them Okada matches. Like the one the draw.
The G1. The is it the draw or the G1 one?
I think it's the draw.
Okay.
Hold on, let me look. I had glanced at something. I was like, wait, that date right?
Look, if you talk about the G1 match, I'll hear you out.
I like the G1. Like, my person, like, give me the half-hour match. Or not the half hour. Give me the G1 match over the hour draw. But
some people like the draw the most. Not for me. Like,
it's the best hour-long match. It's the best hour-long match I've ever seen. However, when I got to the finish of that shit and it was a draw, I was furious. I was furious. I was like, you tell me these motherfuckers built me for a whole hour?
Yeah. Well, I'm still going with Dominion as obviously the best one, but I know what people are saying. Like, bro, I love this match. Like, I think it was like it is so much for Gabe Kidd. I
love the match too. It's just we're in the content. It'd be like, what is your favorite? It'd be like, what is your favorite Jerry Rice season? It's one of those what we're doing right now. It's like, all right, what about what's your most important match? Like, all right, I'm stuttering. So it's like, what do you want to talk about? It's like, all right, do you want to talk about like when he was like 38 and had 1,200 yards as a Raider? Like, where does that rank? Mm-hmm. Like, we're kind of like at that point now with Kenny Omega. And it's like, do I want to compare that to like, when he had like 22 touchdowns in a strike shortened season? Like, it's not necessarily, it's kind of different.
I think New Japan should go with Gabe over the 2 days. I don't think anybody impressed me more than him. And they're doing him and Suji at New Beginning, which is very interesting.
They're really going there that fast?
Yeah, they are.
That should be a Dominion match.
You'd think, but I guess they got to do something. But feel like a star was born, and I think we're gonna be hearing a lot from this guy. So like, I think he's got to play in the Forbidden Doors from now on, and he needs to bring the anti-AEW thing with him. Like, as far as like, because they've never really, like, I think some of the Charlton stuff for me is because like on television it's never really been pushed as such like that. This has been something that has bubbled up in like your pure elitist
of dark spaces on this fan, or New Japan fan.
Yeah, there's Reddit forums and various podcasts, which I shall not name here, but it seems like they found somebody that was sympathetic to their cause, and they sent that man in there with a bomb and fought around and fucked that man's money up. Y'all can stand with him all y'all want. Y'all gonna stand for that man bills? No. Oh, y'all should probably shut the fuck up then. Like,
look, they suspended him, so obviously like they thought the line was crossed. I listened to it. I thought like, I didn't think it was that bad. Do you think he doesn't get suspended if he doesn't say money mark?
I think that's the only thing that gets him. I think everything else was fair game, and it really added to the match. Like, but when you do the money mark thing, it's just like, all right, we've already seen examples of, with the Effie thing. Like, that's something that's not going to go over well, especially like a money mark, somebody that loses money, you would think. And I don't know. I think they just signed $555 million TV deal, so these feel like old talking points. You gotta update the software, is what I'm saying.
I would have tried to let it slide or whatever else. I think he's shooting off. I could see him get suspended for that. I wouldn't have suspended him for it, but I could see him get suspended for that. I have no problem with it. Like, anything else would be like, no, I can't be. Anything other stuff, it can't be. It's like he's literally like.
Look, because I'll say this, man. Like, I'll say this, man. Like,
money mark is unnecessary, though. Money mark is unnecessary.
I was gonna say, like, if Nigel McGuinness was just on commentary and they unleashed him and was like, "Yo, New Japan's a poverty company that don't want to pay for somebody getting surgeries like Kyle Fletcher, and that's why he ended up signing with AEW, because Tony Khan paid for his shit when he was working in New Japan." With Mark Fletcher, or excuse me, Mark Davis and his injuries. Like, that would be, they'd be shooting down their legs, all those same people, right?
Yeah, but that's also worse.
Exactly. Like, this is where the power, quote unquote, imbalance is there. It's like, they're probably going to do something that hurts a little more because they are in a higher, position here. So, they would. What I'm saying is how it relates to Gabe is, if you want to introduce this now, like, but I'm not under the impression that the company's ever really wanted to introduce, because it's never been New Japan really versus AEW as an overall concept. It's been like,
it's always been partners. These are cool matches we're putting on, and like, yeah.
So like, and then it's like, Chris Charlton was radicalized somewhere. and brought the radical thing. I'm like, all right, well, if I think they should try to test how people respond to it, and then unleash Gabe Kidd on TV and be like, yo, and send him out there with a mic and tell him, yo, you're just not allowed to curse like a madman. Go and tell us what you hate about AEW. Boom, and then make something at Forbidden Door.
I hate the way that they walk, the way that they talk. I hate the way that they dress.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly in his ear. Wow, a lot of people saying that. Not just Kevin Kelly in his ear. But yeah, it was interesting that with Rocky and hearing like the pushback, it was like, yeah, and then Walker Stewart was like, hey guys, put the guns away. Like that shit was funny.
Yeah. Yep.
But classic match.
But you guys gotta remember, Rocky is in the AEW office.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, like, don't get me wrong, like, he did the right thing by being like, hey, I'm here off the strength of, like, all the times I worked in New Japan, I'm in AEW, I'm the perfect person to do this show on commentary. I've done commentary for New Japan English side as well. And, like, I'm the perfect person to be like, as Charlton's getting his shit off, I'm the person to be like, hey, man, you gotta relax. Take it easy. So, yeah, I thought, listening to it, like, I had heard there was something, maybe it's because, like, I had heard something happen before I watched it, and then, so my antenna was already up for something, expecting something really bad, and then it was like, oh, Money Mark's bad, or Money Mark is something that can get you suspended, but outside of that, everything else seems like he's doing the job. So maybe if I heard it for the first time without, that expectation that it's going to be something bad, I'd have been like, oh, shit.
When I was watching, I instantly knew. I was like, oh, he doing too much. Like, it was like, I knew something was kind of, it just felt like he had too much dip on his chip. It was like, oh, you might want to, you fucked it up.
And you also know with the way that, like, Charlton does the English commentary, like, no one is giving him notes. He's doing this shit on his own.
Right.
I don't mean like tonight. I mean like all the great stuff he's done as English commentary side for New Japan Pro Wrestling for years. He's been a person that's been like, no one's telling him, hey, say this. It's not happening.
Right.
Him and Kevin Kelly, whoever else have like had to be the narrative crafters for the Western side for this company for years. And he's done mostly an outstanding job for it. That night was a fuck up. That was a fuck up.
Look, man, got radicalized trying to pander to podcasters, and I hope they donate that man some Patreon funds or something for these next 2 months.
Now the best part,
help your boy out, stand with him.
No, here's the best part, right? Or not the best part. Here'd be the funny part. If New Japan let him go, you know who I want him to be?
Where?
AEW. Because he's fucking good. Because he's fucking good, and he translates for the Japanese wrestlers. He'd be great at this job, and he'd be great for this for AEW. Now, do I think he will get a job because he just called Tony Khan a money mark? I don't know. I don't know if Tony Khan's built like Vince McMahon. I don't know. But like, if he were not wrestling, if he was not doing the stuff in New Japan, I think he'd be great in I think he would be great.
That's
in AEW.
so funny. That's so funny to wrap this up with. That's so funny.
That would be fucking hilarious. All of a sudden, like you like, popped up. Trish Charlton and Alger McGuinness. Like, oh, what are you doing here on Collision?
They be torturing that man, bro. Kevin Kelly got all that heat. My God.
Well, he's not an asshole like Kevin Kelly is. He ain't out here, protecting the children.
Oh yeah,
you read about that part with Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly, believes in some wild things.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
Main evento, IWGP World Heavyweight Title match: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet. So like during the Gabe and Kenny match, I sent a tweet. I was like, Zack Sabre should walk out of the Tokyo Dome right now. Like. Like fuck this, y'all done set me up for night one. You didn't give me Shota Umino, and then I gotta go in after this shit. Man, fuck y'all niggas. Here, take your belt, man. I'm not doing this. This is an insult. But Sabre and Ricochet got out there, and it's like they knew they could not fuck around. They got to it immediately. Ricochet pushing the pace, and Ricochet was like, "This is my one time I'm ever going to main event the Tokyo Dome. I'm a nigga in here." Bro, and I think Ricochet should be very, very proud of himself. This is the best I think he's looked since he's left WWE, maybe since he's been in NXT. And like the snap was there, the athleticism was there, and like they was in there slapping and hitting, and like they just knew they couldn't fuck around. It like they had to go out there and be like, and it's not like they didn't top the previous match, but when you say, hey, can you follow this? I think they did a fine job earning the crowd's respect and be like, yeah, this wasn't no bullshit that went on after this. And ultimately Sabre ended up winning with like a Zack driver off the second rope. I thought they literally did the best they could. Both of them should be really proud of what they did.
Okay. So, how did the match work out? Like was Ricochet working like an insane person? Like
he was clearly the heel, but he was doing a bunch of flying. Like
I'm kind of asking. The reason I'm asking is like he left Swerve bloody, so I was wondering if like he decided that like I'm gonna go main event a dome show, and I'm going to like the week before or days before I'm going to change my whole character and change my whole entire style in the ring and approach.
He didn't come out there like I'm about to slow this bitch down. He didn't do none of that. No.
I mean, like all of a sudden he becomes wild. He becomes like wild brawler Ricochet, right? Like all of a sudden he turns into fucking like Mick Foley or something. It's like, wait, what?
Wasn't that stark a difference? No.
Okay.
So like, yeah, but I think I was kind of shell shocked still watching this match after the last one, but I think they did enough to like get people into it, and I think this is a match where you'll look like if you watch this and you did not watch the Gabe Kidd Kenny Omega match directly before it, you'll probably be like, this was fucking awesome. Like this is going to go as a sleeper for years to come, I think.
Okay. So this is like their first match since like 2017. Like singles match. Apparently. I'm looking at cage match right now. So like you forget that like Sabre's been around forever, and so has Ricochet. So, of course, on the indies, they've seen each other before.
Evolve comes to the Tokyo Dome.
I was thinking it's probably like some Rev Pro ass match.
Yeah, that too. So we are pretty late at night as we're recording
I think we're going to leave it right here, brother.
Man, I think we do have to talk about. We brought it up already with the Ricochet and Swerve attack.
Okay.
So this was like in the middle of a 3-way match with Swerve, Jay White, and Roderick Strong. How they set this up was really interesting, where Swerve's kind of just wearing the other two out, and he's walking on the post or whatever outside the ring, and then Ricochet comes out there dressed like Jeffrey Dahmer, damn near, like with the glasses and shit. Like he came out there like a serial killer. He fucking stabbed Swerve in the face with the scissors, basically fucks him up like on the outside of the ring, gives him some moves, ruins the match pretty much. White ends up getting the pinfall over Roddy, and then after the match, they do an incredible angle where like Ricochet just fucking destroys Swerve in a way where it was like, you threw the toilet paper on me, basically you threw the pig's blood on me, and now I got to get my lick back. And he busts him to the white meat. Swerve does a killer blade job. And Ricochet's got these scissors, and he's got this sinister look in his face. He's wearing clothes, obviously, to accent the blood, like he's dressed immaculately with the white shirt underneath. Swerve bleeds all over him. And Ricochet has taken his career, I think, in a different direction.
Hold on. You leaving out another great detail of this. He starts headbutting Swerve with his bald head into the blood, and like the blood's on his forehead. The blood is stuck on Ricochet's forehead. I've never really thought of it that way. As far as like, I've never really seen that visual I can think of. And I thought it was great. Because yeah, man, like think how many times we've seen fight or, MMA or boxing where like there's a nigga with a bald head, Vander Holyfield putting that ball head into the way, ball head hitting the other person, and he's out there cutting people. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I watched this and I was just like, wow, like Ricochet has bought himself another 5 years, I think, like as a like on his career essentially, like because we talked about essentially where I think he maxed he basically as an athletic Marvel star performer, like being just Ricochet that we always knew. I think he reached the end of the line like 3 months into AEW with that. And what this is going to allow him to do and the places is going to go, stuff I'm like kind of like seeing that's happening and, kind of know what's down the road. I think he's going to have one of the most interesting characters like that I don't think anybody would ever saw in the cards for him, just because of like, I think people have always had concerns about his talking ability for good reason. Yeah. His character, like, if you think about it, this guy never really got those opportunities to flex those muscles. It's like these things are like, I don't even know if they've atrophied, as if they've never been like, he's never hit that weight machine before. Like he's never tried this stuff. He's never had someone believe in him before and be like, you know what, we're going to give you a story about you. It's never happened before. So like, and obviously he's in there with a guy that's like a master at this, like as far as like bringing shit out of people. I'm very like, when we look at the things that are going on in AEW, I think the Death Riders stink. I think Jon Moxley needs to lose the belt this month. And they need to stop fucking around with it, do it expeditiously. And whatever plans you had, like last week, I said, rip them up. Like, like you got Kenny Omega walking back into this promotion. You got Swerve and Ricochet here doing this thing. And you got Will Ospreay hanging around, Fletcher and Ospreay. Pick someone up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just like this shit is like.
You have Kazuchika Okada in the afterglow of having an all-time match as well.
Yep. Yeah, like, Ricochet's doing better character work than Moxley. And I think it's going to bear out even more in the coming weeks.
Could you imagine?
I think it's on.
No, Rich, go back. Let's go back 6 months. Can you imagine if ever actually saying that Ricochet is doing better character work than Jon Moxley? He absolutely is. He absolutely is.
I think people got to not be afraid to wake it up, like and tell AEW what you think about. And look, I know y'all know people in the company. I know that there are people that listen to your shows, but you know what they need to hear? The truth. Like, you know what they want to hear? The truth. Like, so this is like the Moxley thing's just not working. And I think we've given them enough time. If Ricochet can pack you up within 2 weeks, as opposed to what you've been doing for 3 months, I think we need to reevaluate. And it's not necessarily Ricochet versus Jon Moxley. This is a assessment.
No. I get your. It's not a.
I'm not saying strap Ricochet up. Like,
the amount of time that's been put in weeks that have been put into this new direction with BCC into Death Riders compared to what Ricochet has gotten with Swerve. It's. You know what it's like?
And you're taking Ricochet from a lower point, too.
It's like a 13-1 team, right? With millions of dollars in history and 3 national championships showing up the next season and winning 2 fucking games. And then another team that doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, like, oh yeah, Colorado won 9 games. It's like that. It's like, these are 2 different things. This one thing's supposed to be too big to fail over here, and it is absolutely failed. Meanwhile, they're over here just having fun. They're just having fun. They ain't they're SMU, right?
Think about the
Florida State this year.
I was gonna say, think about the resources that have been poured into Jon Moxley here. You give him Danielson's retirement. You give him the belt. You remake his unit.
Right.
You tell him. You give him
the female heater.
Female heater. You give the belt itself a gimmick or whatever. Yeah. So like it's a briefcase now. And then like you give him carte blanche do this shit.
You're outsmarting the babyface locker room every other week.
Yeah. It ain't, you're beating multiple people on pay-per-view. Like it's like, all right, man, I think it's a wrap, man. Like I think it's a wrap, and the way just Swerve and Ricochet as an example, I think it's going to continue to outshine this, however long it goes, and then we can look around the card elsewhere. It ain't like Death Rider's going to be able to stand up to much else either.
Did you hear, I guess the post-match video package or promo that they showed with MJF, and MJF says, like, I'm officially done with Adam Cole, and you can hear the crowd cheer.
That's funny.
And then he mentioned Moxley, and I was like, brother, I do not want to see y'all. Not now. Now.
That was interesting that you brought that up, because I think that is linked to something else in the show, which is the Jeff Jarrett promo, where Jeff Jarrett fake retires, essentially says, like, yeah, I'm going to hang my boots up, but actually I'm not. I'm going to stay around. I signed another contract, and I want to go after the AEW World Championship and all this shit. And I'm like, huh? Like, so, like, I think this also a Jeff Jarrett.
When he didn't actually retire, I zoned out, because I was like, oh, okay. So we're wasting time.
We are indeed. So, like, during the Kenny Omega Gabe Kidd match, I believe in the AEW Twitter account.
Hold on, before we move on, brother. So you talking about Jeff Jarrett and the boots in the ring. Did you notice the size of them lifts on them boots?
Had a nice thick bottom portion on there.
When did MJF get his boots from Jeff Jarrett's guy?
Possibly.
Because, man, they out there on platforms.
So after the Kenny and Gabe match, the AEW Twitter account sent out a post about Jeff Jarrett getting a live mic. I've never seen so many dunks and retweets on this thing. Like, who could possibly give a fuck? Like, and then it's like, this is the problem with this company and all this stuff. It was like, it was great. Like, seeing all that, and then it's like, all right.
All niggas know how to promo and get emotion out of people. I don't understand why people don't get that.
Right. No, Jarrett did a great job, but it's at the end of the day, it's Jeff Jarrett. He's 57 years old. People like you got Copeland already coming out there on Collision. They were doing him and Jericho face to face. Like, it was like, when did this become AARPEW? Like, where's the youth? Where are the fresher talents? The guys we have not seen on TV for 20 years, stuff like that. So, like, I think the Jarrett and MJF thing played back to back for a reason, so I'm not necessarily worried about either of them. Mm-hmm. But they got that gauntlet match coming up again or whatever. So
is that next week or 2 weeks from now?
I think it is 2 weeks from now.
Okay, the reason why I asked is because, like,
it's this week, and then
the women's is the week after. And the women's is the week after. Okay, correct. Because I know there was a three-way match with three-way match for number one spotlight. The same thing with the Swerve three-way was on. It's going to be next week as well.
Yeah.
So for setting up the gauntlet match for the women 2 weeks from now. Okay.
So I'm like, huh? Like, so I think they're setting up things to kind of culminate in that match, but I think they just need to be more conscious of, like, who they're putting out there right now, and be ready to, like, snap your fingers and change the face of this thing, like, because a lot of people are not happy with this shit. Like, and it's like, and I don't blame them.
It's because it don't even make sense. It's like, it's not even at this. How do I say this? It'd be one thing if this was, like, at the cost of the time for your young guys that, like, you're going to need in 3 years, right? Or 2 years, whatever, long term. This time being taken away is, like, at the expense of people that are marquee players on your card. Like, Jay White had to cut a backstage promo. Well, I didn't have to. He did. Cut a backstage promo that went like 2 minutes, and he catchphrased it up and talked about moments like he was in fucking WWE, and then moved on. It's like, well, what that didn't do him any good. But, like, Jeff Jarrett gets the backstage thing with Sanjay, with Lethal.
We see who's getting handed the mics and then go in the ring.
Jarrett, and then he goes out there and he gets to talk and does the whole boot thing, and it's like, look, man, I know that I am a person that does not want to see Jeff Jarrett on his professional wrestling screen ever, but it's like, let's put that to the side for now. Fundamentally, fundamentally, is this good for AEW to do this when it's like, we don't know what the fuck's going on with Hangman right now?
Oh, he's getting beat up by Christopher Daniels. I forgot. That's another old guy thing. Christopher Daniels beat him up on Collision.
Maybe is now, maybe does that mean that, like, could it possibly mean that, like, he's beating up olds and that means he eventually gets back Jarrett and he's the one that retires Jarrett? Or you don't think so? Because if so, I'll tell you this right now. Because once he put them boots in the ring, I was like, it could be, and if he retires Jarrett, I'll be no more fan in the Adam Page fan club if he retires Jarrett. But yeah, like, it's just a lot of stuff where it's like, all right, what are we following up on? And it was like, we'll get to it next week. Okay, cool. But do we have an opponent for Okada? No? All right. we're just teasing a match for 7 months from now or 6 months from now. All right.
Kenny's going to return on Wednesday. Who knows how they're going to act like when he shows up with a big patch on his head? Are they going to be like, are they going to act like it is against the law to mention that he was at the Tokyo Dome over the weekend? I don't know, man.
They'll mention it. They'll mention the guys. They'll mention the Young Bucks with belts and that kind of thing. They'll do all that, and whatever. But it's like, that doesn't really bother me as much as like, hey, Copeland, Moxley, they had a great preview tag, or they had a really good preview tag. I say that when they did it, like, watching gonna make their TV's gonna be good, and then the match happens. You gotta worry about the match. I still gotta worry about the match whenever they have it. So there's that.
I think the Julia Hart Jamie Hayter match was a disaster.
Oh my god, Julia Hart
on several levels,
bro. I know people have this thing of saying, like, what do you expect? She just came back. When someone has a stinker when they come back. I'm sorry, are you people on the impression that these people come back before they're ready? At that level of the card?
I don't think nobody's getting in the ring that is
no. What I mean is, like, hey, we got the show of the year going on right now. We know you tweaked your knee a little bit or whatever else. So can you go? Do you think that's happening to Julia Hart all the way down there in the priority box for AEW?
No.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Look, man, this was not me Toyota to begin with. So, like,
no, but I'm like, she came back and she's worse.
Yeah. And then, like, the way they did the finish, and it was just like, all right, they're gonna move her along now. And I think this is an example of, like, my trepidation around the women's division and why it's so weird. Like, I thought this was a match that would do no one any favors, and it did not. So, if it was me, I'm having Jimmy Hayter, like, lariat her head off and, like, mixing in with the top, with Statlander, mixing in with Willow, mixing in, like, these are the ways I would go. But for some reason, they're not doing this. I don't know why. But she had to work with Julia Hart and lose via mist. Okay. The Hurt Syndicate.
Like, you can always just not do the match. You can always just not do the match between those two. Whatever.
The Hurt Syndicate, now a tag team, beat the brakes off of Max Caster. Bowens kind of stood up outside the ring. Caster was flying around, taking the bumps for him. For Lashley and Benjamin. It was pretty funny. They indeed hurt people.
He wasn't flying around, he was getting thrown around. Difference.
Yeah. Hangman beat Orange Cassidy in the opener. Yeah, that was a good match.
It's a good match. You're expecting more from them.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little better, but yeah, overall, like, as far as it was the first show on Max, look, at least they didn't do what WWE did, where they just
see, now you doing it. See, you excusing not greatness because it's better than WWE. That ain't what AEW started on. Be great on your own merit. Be great on your own merit.
Yeah.
Stop putting Jeff Jarrett on my fucking TV screen.
Yeah, man. It was like I liked I thought the trios match was fine. I thought it was fine.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had one small nitpick on the match. Hey, man. Dax. A lot of people like you because they say that, like, you an old school dude that, like, you make everything count, everything makes sense. You a psychologist. You can't be out here doing a shoulder open, a fair one on shoulder tackles with Wheeler Yuta and you bump for him. No, that can't ever happen. You too much. You way too big. I'm gonna say way too bigger. You are way bigger than him. It makes no fucking sense. Wheeler Yuta ain't even that kind of guy that, he's mighty man, he's mighty mouse, he's strong for his size, whatever else. He's a technical wrestler, that's how he gets by, and he's scrawny. You look like you work on trucks, bro. You look like you work on trucks, and you were the strongest.
You change oil for a living.
You look like you were the guy that was the strongest guy in your high school football team, but now you fix trucks. You can't be out here bumping for him on a clean, fair shoulder tackle early at the beginning of the match, like when nothing happened to you. You weren't compromised at all. That makes no sense. Knock it off. Outside of that, did a great job.
So you saying he lifts up trucks without the crank, like without the crane?
No. What I'm saying is that man looked like a hard day at work. He looks like a hard day at work.
That man, you shake that man's hand, and you got to check your own hand to see if you bleeding. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I didn't love it. Like I didn't love the show. Like I thought it was fine, but it was like I want greatness. Like y'all got the abilities. So why is Christopher Daniels slapping Hangman?
That on Collision?
That was on Collision. Because look,
that shouldn't exist anyway. Whatever.
Because they ruined Hangman Page's character completely, and they are dedicated to finishing the job. That's
Page should take his ass to Japan.
Look, you see what your homies did. You better look. Tanahashi, pick up the phone. Ask him how you can be part of his final year. Is he still getting punished? No, I you know what? Maybe I can't rule that out, right? Him getting punished for Punk, but this is like their own general incompetence. It seems like can't blame CM Punk for everything.
Look, man, I ain't trying to hear that. You ain't punishing him. You are not punishing him for the CM Punk thing by putting him in the main event of a pay-per-view and having him win it. That makes no sense.
But everything since. Worthy question. But
that's
yeah. I guess the last thing we should talk about is Hulk Hogan.
Shit. All right.
So I didn't watch that whole Raw on Netflix show. I think that was.
I only saw clips on YouTube or not YouTube, but Twitter.
I thought it was insane to sign up for that because like I saw they only have 4 matches scheduled. They weren't going to add anything else. They put all the reporting out there. Everything was AstroTurf. Nick Khan texted his big black book of celebrities, had them tweeting about it. They had all the celebrities in the crowd and all that. So it was like a LA event. Like it wasn't like this was like a fake. It was like I saw it best described as a parade for WWE. It wasn't really a show per se. They blew up. They actually had Roman Reigns wrestling on Raw. When the fuck the last time did that happen?
CM Punk too. CM Punk will wrestle on TV
on Raw. Wrestled Seth Rollins, and they had Jey Uso beat Drew McIntyre, which is hilarious. I heard in a god awful match. And then Rhea Ripley beat Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan another loss, and she loses the belt to her. So Liv Morgan continues to not win.
Hey, whatever. Look, we got the belt off of a charity case.
So
I expect I ain't really getting into it. They did the right thing by finally getting the belt off of her. She went out there and stunk with that belt, and I can't wait for them to get the belt off of Nia too. Those women.
They did.
Sorry, when? The cash in this.
Cash in. Yeah.
Look, good.
So
get the belt. Get your women's titles off of stinkers.
So celebrities everywhere, old wrestlers everywhere. Undertaker pulling up on the bike. Triple H, my God, let's talk about this guy. Starts the show behind a fucking curtain.
No. You ain't. No. he narrated the open, and then he was
yeah.
underneath the fucking curtain.
Yes, bro. The Rock's there, bro. This
One
is
or two, not both.
It's an all-time dick measuring contest here with these guys. They pull out the
What did
curtain.
Cody say at the end of WrestleMania about Triple H when he asked him to come down?
He just hates it.
I know. There's something like, I know he hates it here, but I don't want him to come down here. Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a from people that have watched this show, this is a show very unlike the ones that have led to, the success or whatever. But Hulk Hogan in the middle of all of this is brought out there, and this is a part of their new sponsorship deal with him. He has something called the Real American Beer, and they have a lot of sponsors now on the mat. The mat is now black, and they have Saudi Arabia on there. The Riyadh season, they have a Fortnite. They have the Hogan beer.
Not the black mat, but they had Prime Energy in the middle of the thing.
Yep. So they've completely taken the leap now. I found it funny.
Good for them. Like that. Look, that's what real fighting does. They sell the mat. That's what Japanese pro wrestling does. They sell the mat. You're gonna be looking at this spot for a few hours. May as well sell it like it's advertising. Use it as a billboard. Why not?
So it was funny to see CM Punk wrestling with a Riyadh season logo next to him the whole time.
I don't know if it's gonna be even funnier when he's gonna be in Riyadh to sell that to win that Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So Hogan comes out there and they boo, and then they boo some more, and then he talks, and they boo some more.
Yeah.
And they booing, and they booing, and they boo that man out the building. And I saw so many people proud of themselves for booing Hulk Hogan and on Twitter throwing parties and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what kind of moral ground y'all have here, because if Hulk Hogan is the person you like to boo, shit, I got a couple more for you that you just let slide by unbooed.
What do you think was specific about him compared to Undertaker or Triple H or watching WWE at all?
I was gonna say
or watching pro wrestling at all.
I was gonna say the people in the crowd, they paid tickets to a company that's getting sued for sex trafficking. So whatever. You can see also people, whether they know it or not. I think Hogan's stuff is just more visible, but Triple H was at Donald Trump's house last week. And then he did the I don't see color routine 3 months ago on video in front of y'all. Undertaker did the big interview with Donald Trump, did the video with Kane dissing Batista and all this stuff, and basically all the other stuff. Hulk Hogan is the safe option for everyone to boo. He is the one where it's nobody really wants to.
He was at the Nazi MSG thing. That's what it is.
He's the safe. He's a safe choice to boo. I feel because look, we've got Triple H on video and photo the same way. He didn't go to court for it or anything, where it was discovered in a sex scandal or anything like that. But for me, there's not that much difference between these people.
Saying you hate niggers on a camera and then being blackface. Yeah,
there's not much difference here
either.
So I'm
in fact, if you were to say which one is what is it? You know how there's degrees of murder, right?
Yeah.
Premeditated murder, and then one is you're trying to cover, and the murder one's you're trying to cover your tracks and all that kind of stuff. Bro, you know the kind of process you got to go through to put paint on your bronzer or paint on yourself to make yourself look like you're black, compared to just saying the word nigger, with a hard R. It's so much easier just to roll out, hit the hard R than it is to do that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. And it's I know people are literally just picking and choosing here, but I think they're just going with the safe option or whatever. And people have tried to blame this strictly on politics. It's not that. Nope. People have tried to blame this strictly on a generation gap or whatever. No, because they bring Hogan back typically all the time. This happens to him often, and sometimes it doesn't happen to him.
Right.
So like, I don't know. I think people are being very performative and like being a little too patting themselves on the back a little bit too much, because like they're not withdrawing their support of WWE. They're not like talking about how bad this was. I've done the work on Hogan for years and years and years. I feel like I'm probably one of the people that can analyze him in this situation the best around, because it's almost like it all paid off when I said they were using Gene Okerlund to bring him back and test the waters and bring him back to Saudi Arabia at the same time as Jamal Khashoggi. So you couldn't be mad at two things at once. And then you send out there with Titus O'Neil as a nigger shield, essentially, to make sure he doesn't get booed, but he still gets booed.
Yeah.
These are all things that they've done with Hogan to try to protect this. They keep telling y'all they want to be in business with him, and now they're officially into deeper business with him with the beer. Now, is that going to change? That remains to be seen. Highly unlikely, though. But Hogan gets written in and out of their history and paraded around all the time. Like, it comes and it goes, but like they ultimately want to this is not about Hulk Hogan the person. This is about the legacy of Hulk Hogan, the ownership of the Hulk Hogan legacy that they can roll out and then make palatable to continue to sell.
But don't
this
you
is what this is.
Right. But don't you think that's weird, because like they've untangled themselves from him before and kept it moving. And then they got themselves back into the situation, right, when they brought him back in 2019. And it's like, hey man, y'all just did a Netflix documentary to get away, to detangle yourselves and bad man going Vince McMahon. If you can separate yourself from Vince McMahon, you can also separate yourself from Hulk Hogan.
I don't think they want to do that. And then also, like, you just see the way the corporation rolls up. It's like, he's not doing anything that's going to get him looked at by TKO like he's off base. You notice that he showed up in that shirt when he was traveling, cut the promo, and it was like the MAGA powers and all this stuff. He took that shit off before he came out on television.
Rich, I don't know if you remember this, like, I think the Kobe Covington fight a couple weeks ago,
he walked out there with him.
He walked out with Hogan.
Yeah.
Holding the American flag, and I think they played a real American. So it's like, this ain't a... TKO don't give a fuck about if ain't gonna take Hogan off.
Right. So, like, I'm kind of waiting for people to stop performing at this point. It's like, y'all clearly don't care. So don't do these fake performative boos. And maybe this is just like one crowd that I'm kind of like isolating on this, but I just saw so many people on Twitter where it was like, it's so easy to just come out here and be like, boo or fuck Hulk Hogan, right? And then just continue on, right?
What about the ones that are less obvious that you need to be booing? Right? Like, as you mentioned, Hogan. I'm sorry, as you mentioned, Undertaker. As you mentioned, Triple H.
Like I didn't see near a black person wrestling last night.
Like as Rock mentioned it, right? They set the arena gate record. Like, y'all put tons and tons and tons of money into these people that platformed these people. And then, like, after they embarrassed themselves, they continued to do it. Like
they win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the boos don't matter. Like, and it's funny, the one story that emerged from this was not CM Punk wrestling his first match on Raw and since 2014. Not that. Yeah. Not Roman Reigns working a match. Not The Rock basically blowing up all his storylines like a kamikaze. Hilarious. But all the trade articles and every mainstream publication, Hulk Hogan booed. The fucking Shade Room was posting about it, James.
What do you think that was about?
I think somebody pushed the button on it. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
so are you saying that this is the beginning of them being out of the Hulk Hogan business again?
It was so big and so noticeable and so many Hollywood people there. I guess they might feel like...
But that's another big thing of why they do the LA thing, because like they have always been so desperate to like want to be seen as bigger than they are, because
Like they was in there cosplaying.
Wrestling, we want to be, the thing.
Look, they was in there
cool things.
They was in there cosplaying like they was Hollywood and all this stuff, right? But then Hogan comes around, and the quote unquote real fans that are in the building and all that stuff, they're booing Hogan, and it's almost like, oh shit, y'all fucking with us in front of company. That's that's kind of what this is. But Hogan is somebody that you can bring back. He'll easily travel and stuff like that. Some of those legends at his age, they can't walk and stuff like that. So like, you're not bringing Flair back. You're not doing this stuff. It's like they have this.
Well, they can't bring Flair back because AEW brought Flair back even with this shit going on.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think he's with AEW anymore, but I feel feasibly they could bring him back.
But they had the fucking
woo energy. Yeah. So they have like, and you can link this back with Saturday Night's Main Event as well. They have this idea of the nostalgia, but they also have like these these black holes kind of in it, where it's like they don't talk about all the time periods. They selectively, it's like they go too far back sometimes. Sometimes they don't go far enough, and then it's like really the people you should be bringing back are like the early 2000s people now. But
wait, you mean it's just start bringing back Ruthless Aggression?
Those people are still around as regular wrestlers, right? Like John Cena. And
Cena's on his farewell tour. Orton's still wrestling. Copeland's wrestling. Jericho's wrestling. Yeah.
So like really, those are the people that you should be bringing back. But
Rey Mysterio's wrestling.
Yeah. So like when you go 2 generations back with a Hogan, it's like there was a fuck up here. Like, and I don't know exactly like what the fuck up was, because obviously on his face is like, all right, you continue to put this racist motherfucker on television, but like they don't think that because they don't think racism is real. Like, so remove that. Like I'm about to do this hat off my head. Remove that, and then think about like how they like arrive at the point where they're like, I got it, Hulk Hogan. And then the room goes silent, and it's like, we could use Hogan. And then it's like, I don't know why you had John Cena there. What do you need Hulk Hogan for?
Well, I think there's a thing where like the company's so built on nostalgia that like all the nostalgia works, or all the nostalgia like from WrestleMania up still holds, right? So remember when they first got to Fox, right? I don't know if you remember this, but like they had they were promoting it on Fox on the Fox halftime show, and like they had like Howie Long and Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan. They talk about their favorite wrestlers, and they were all saying like, and this is 2019. They were all saying shit like Hogan, Savage, I don't know if it's Ultimate Warrior, but like, they were all talking about like the Rockin' Wrestling / Russell or beginning Wrestlemania era, and then like I don't even know if they even got to Austin in the Rock.
Wow.
I don't know if they got that far. But that was just 5 years ago. So like, yeah, if you have shit like that happening, then yeah, I see why they still want to have the Hogan thing. But it's like, how many shirts, how many Hulkamania or Hulk Rule shirts do you think you can sell in this day and age? That shit been stepped on.
Yeah, I look. I had the same question in 2019 where I would say, y'all haven't already bought all the Hogan merchandise like when he came back in 2015. Like y'all just needed more. Like when it's just interesting to see how far.
And look, I'll say this. Maybe the thought of it, they think of it as like the secondary market for shoes. Like we got to drop and we got to keep dropping it every so many years because we just leave it available. Then it less people will want to be interested in buying it. But once you say there's only a certain amount for this amount of time and you don't know what's going to be going, people just buy the whole thing and you can mark up the price.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I guess my bottom line was like not enough people got booed. And some of the stuff, the performative stuff with Hogan getting booed it's performative, and I see a lot of the people that are very vocal about it, and I question the like what else, like it's like, all right, I can see that you don't like Hogan. Well, what is it you don't like? And then if you start asking them to explain what they don't like about Hogan,
you be like, you also pointed to other motherfuckers did the same thing. Yeah.
Bingo. Wrap this up, man.
Yep. Yeah, can you plug the Chop Tees?
Chop-tees.com. Get your Social Suplex merchandise. Get your Dream Team wear. The gray and orange joint. Get stuff from Trish and Sarah. Get stuff from Tunnel Talk. Get some stuff from Keepin It Strong Style. Pick something up from my man Sir Sam with the match guide and all that. Man, Imp, everybody on the network. Make sure you're getting the high quality stuff. Check out OneLifetimeWorldwide.com. Exclusive One Nation Radio designs on there. I am actually wearing the One Nation Radio Ace of Podcast design right here. So that's not listed on the site, but you holler at me. We could make it happen for you.
Yeah, that's a nasty, nasty shirt. I got 2 of them. I got it in red as well. Yeah, and if you're watching the stream, you're not listening to the podcast, go to the podcast, go to the show notes for the podcast, and go to the Red Circle link. You donate there. And the FOH still available for those that haven't listened yet. You go to the PayHip. The link to that is also in the show notes. You can go to the PayHip there. You can get your copy of the podcast. You can donate there for listening to it. If not, Rich will demand that you then somehow email the podcast back. I don't know if the email is available for One Nation Radio. I don't know, but I guess you need to set it up in case you need to refund the podcast if you don't donate. But yeah, besides One Nation Radio, also Social Suplex Podcast Network, you also listen to Keepin It Strong Style. Can't wait to see what they have to say about Naito. I haven't heard it yet, but I as soon as I'm done uploading this, I'm gonna turn that on. MJPW Adventure, All Things Elite, Wrestling Out with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, and the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
What is... Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker? On all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.